Hello everybody and welcome to the prediction for Batman vs Iron Man, which was the next death battle announced properly at RTX. Anybody who's not aware of that, I don't know how. So this is the prediction and I am joined by...
Me, hello, I'm Akil. Yeah, I have a YouTube channel and I love scaling comics. Most of you probably know me, some of you don't. If you don't, hello.
I don't know if I'd
Surprise! I'm back for a second one.
This is assume
I'm bang
no
again.
idea what order this is gonna come
Yeah,
out.
I don't think anyone. Fan will hurry up, maybe. But yeah, I'm back for another one. I'm back for another one with my Marvel counterpart Akil, and obviously our Lord and Savior Nemesis. So I'm very happy to be here.
Yep.
So
for this one, I decided. Well, I didn't decide that Akil would join, but Akil did ask, and I was like,
I decided we're gonna bring in Akil on this because I represent Batman. He'll represent Iron Man. It'll be perfectly balanced. So the Nemesis will represent.
You'll see.
Yeah.
He'll represent Ben and Chad.
Well,
So
everybody,
this is
Batman, I relate to
this
him a
is the
lot
next
because
death
his
battle
father
coming up.
died. I wish I had a dad.
This is the next death battle coming up. It's okay. So just for reference, obviously it'll be done a lot more differently than traditional, I guess, death battles because one common debate in like most of comics that's been going around for ages is like a few select characters that are like, what would happen if they had like prep time, huh? And death battle is actually gonna be just having a fight where they do have prep time. And it's gonna be with Batman and Iron Man. So
I like how
this should be fun.
it is characters who are famous for it, but it's not like the characters who are the pinnacle of prep time out of Marvel and DC.
There's you've got like Doom, Lex, Reed. You got a lot of
Constantine.
preppers. Even Constantine. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Thanos.
Thanos, yeah.
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 Who's the best with prep
so-
time in either?
Like overall?
Yeah, I'm not counting
Probably
like the one
in
above all or
Marvel.
anything.
As far as DC goes, probably Constantine, and as far as Marvel goes, probably the Maker.
Yeah, I feel like people need to like distinguish like what's like compositing or just like prep time and stuff. It's a bit of a weird like bridge between the two, but
And then you have you know who
yeah.
from DC. Yeah.
Yep.
Wonderful.
Are we thinking of the same person?
Probably. I mean, there's only one guy that's a you know who, and you don't like him because he's
the Batman who I love it. The Batman who farts, my favorite character ever.
How does
He's so cool.
Lucifer with prep time compare to Constantine with prep time?
he doesn't need to prep. Lucifer
Dude,
just
have you
That's
met the
true.
guy? Dude, he will just convince you to.
He will just walk
To
in
die.
with like
That's like the main win con I hear every time Lucifer versus Beyonder is brought up.
He
He's
walks
just gonna
up.
tell him to kill himself.
well,
That's
'cause
that's so mean, dude.
Lucifer,
Or
the other
Beyonder.
one, the real one, not like that real one, the Discord one, told me there was just this time that Lucifer walked into a high universal plane and it just went, just gone.
Oh my gosh, that was a. From my end, that was a realistic popping sound. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
that was really good.
Yes. So, all right. So I guess this is the part where we probably need to, I guess, lay out some groundwork or establish what's going to be given for both of
Did
them.
they establish
because
anything at
I
RTX?
think
Because I didn't get to
they
watch it.
didn't. They showed a thumbnail of Hellbat versus the Godkiller, but nothing else. Like they didn't reveal what else they would get.
It was
So-
the Godbuster. I mean, it's been called the Godkiller too, but there's like
Godkiller, Godbuster, God Kebab.
Isn't the
alright?
Godbuster
Yeah.
Same.
the Godbuster's like a separate one, right?
But yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
Godbuster and Godkiller are separate. So I guess we'll address the elephant in the room. Like obviously, like standard Batman versus Iron Man. Bruce is gonna die. Like
Yeah.
100%. You can't even equalize stats. Bruce will just get chucked into space. The Bat Train won't save him. he
Yeah,
can't
that's the thing. Bang just dropped a scan of the bat train. I'm like, okay, all right, he's got a train.
Dude, you're kidding me, Batman. The bat train? Just get on.
Oh man.
Even Deathstroke's sick of
So
Batman.
what happens if he hits the Spectre with the bat train?
The Spectre dies and Batman.
Spectre couldn't even take a kick from Batman, let alone a whole train.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually, the Spectre let Batman kick him.
That's
Says every
irrelevant.
person I've ever met.
I'm taking the
No one
scan.
needs to know that.
I'm just taking the scan out of
Alright,
context.
so yeah, standard. Bruce is gonna die, but when you get prep time, it actually becomes like super duper debatable.
So,
So-
what exactly would
Oh.
you guys say to give him? Either of them.
Well, obviously, Death Battle probably won't do this in the episode, but Akil told me this entire list of things we should talk about in this YouTube video. I mean, so here's what we have listed. We have on Bruce's side, we have the White Lantern Ring, the Omniversal Wormhole Bullet, the Archetypal Bullet, the Justice Buster, the Insider Suit, the Mobius Chair, Hellbat, Final Batsuit, and the Final Bat. Yeah, that's it. And then for Tony's side, you have the Infinity Gauntlet, the Uru Armour, the Endosym, the Hulkbuster, Thorbuster, Phoenixbuster, Godbuster, and the Godkiller Mark II. So, obviously, half this stuff will definitely not be included in the episode. Akil just wanted to add it for some flavor.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine Final Batsuit just shooting out an Omniversal Wormhole Bullet.
It'd be hilarious.
And then freaking Tony just wipes it away with the Infinity Gauntlet and sends Batman into overspace. Like, they're not gonna... I don't think we're gonna get everything, but we're just gonna do it for fun.
I'm
Obviously,
actually
like, the main bulk of it will be, like, Final Batsuit, Godkiller Mark II. Yeah, like, half
Yeah.
the stuff, it'll just be for flavor and for fun.
I'm
And
just- I'm
in
imagining-
general,
I'm imagining at the start of the fight, Iron Man gets randomly hit with a bullet that like gives Batman the advantage, and the end of the fight it shows Batman shooting the bullet. Imagine if they did that.
oh
I
my
hope they start
gosh.
fighting because, like, Tony got the Batmobile destroyed when he fought Lex. I don't know, that would be a great...
Oh my gosh.
That'd be funny. I just like the idea that they could use the bullet and they could show the result at the start and then show him actually firing it at the end. That would be kind of cool.
That would be
That would
epic.
be like Final Crisis.
Yes, that's what I'm
Gosh,
referencing.
Crisis.
Yeah.
We'll talk
Darkseid
about that.
hates music.
The Orion
Yeah.
shot thing.
So yeah, like all this stuff, like half the stuff included, it'll just be like to show like the general scope of what they can do or what they have with prep time, just for fun. So we will.
I guess I'll
Guess
start.
we'll start. Yeah, we'll start
Um,
with the most anticipated part of this video. We're gonna talk about the Justice Buster.
There's another
Buster, just
There's
for some
another one
background
I want to
information.
talk about as well afterwards, which is an Iron Man one that people hype up. But
Oh,
I'll talk
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
after.
Nemesis solely existed just to talk about the suits that don't matter in the grand scheme.
I'm
of things.
gonna talk
the
about
Justice
the hype
Buster-
suits.
So the Justice Buster is basically one of the, I guess, more early prep time mech suits for Batman. It was part of the Fenrir contingency and basically, designed to take out the entire Justice League. So I'm gonna let Nemesis take over for this part.
So yeah,
Because he's been waiting a long time to talk about
the
how
Justice
great the
Buster
Justice
comes
Buster
out
is.
in Batman Endgame, and it's incredible because the Justice Buster fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. Like, I mean, first off, like, just look at it. Look, it's not bad from some angles, but the giant head, it looks like a chibi. It looks like a pop vinyl. It's a pop vinyl
It's
batsuit.
not as good as it seems.
Oh my gosh, it kind of looks like a Rhino suit for some reason.
Yeah, it does.
From the Sony movie.
Yeah, it does.
Oh my gosh.
There is one version
Ayo?
that I don't mind, which is, let me find it. There's an action figure, or like a statue that actually looks pretty cool. But the problem
We're gonna be here all
with
night.
the Prime, this is gonna be a long one. I'm glad this was announced like when it was, so I would have time to edit. So the Prime 1 Studio Justice Buster
Yeah,
looks
this is gonna be
good,
a
but
mouthful.
it just looks like an Ironmonger suit. Like, it looks like an Ironmonger suit, honestly.
Oh my gosh,
What?
it does.
No.
I couldn't even see the head for a second. That's
That-
cool though.
Yeah, that looks like... Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and freaking Godbuster. It looks like an Evangelion
Yeah,
unit. That's
it looks like Ava Unit 2 crossed over with
it
with a
does.
Biovore from Warhammer 40k, which is the one I showed you, crossed over with
It-
Iron Man.
Yeah.
It looks better than the comic one.
Yeah. So, when
Alright, so Nemesis.
basically the Justice Buster comes out and he takes on 4 Heralds. He takes on, in order, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, and Superman, which is a very impressive lineup. Aquaman is the weakest of them, but that just shows off how impressive the lineup is, because Aquaman's not weak.
Yeah.
Essentially, against Wonder Woman, she's just fighting an illusion the entire time. The Justice Buster never actually fights her, or if it does, the only thing it does against her is punch her once and she's completely unharmed. And even then, it directly says that she's slower than normal. Against Flash, basically, not only does it also say that he's slower than normal, it comes some non-friction liquid on the floor, Flash slips and crashes into a wall and just doesn't get back up for some reason. Even though Flash should.
You. Literally any team up comic that's Flash.
Yep. Like in Williamson's run, Barry was like blessed. Actually, no, he wasn't. Towards the end, freaking Trickster was finessing him. Like he couldn't even handle Trickster and lost the Speed Force to him. That made me cry.
Isn't
reading that
Trickster the
comic,
guy
but
played by?
Before that,
Isn't Trickster the guy
Before that-
played by
before,
Mark
like-
Hamill in the CW?
before like issue, I think 75 was it? Like everything before that point, Flash was peaking, popping off, dude. He was beating Future Turtle, who had like control over the multiversal still force.
What?
I'm going on a tangent. Yeah, you heard me. The turtle, you know, like his first enemy ever. Yeah,
That
he
was
came
his
back
first
and
enemy?
took control of the still force.
I know
Yes.
of the turtle. He's the guy who makes things slow, but I didn't know that was his first enemy.
It was Barry's first. Wait, yeah, hold on.
That's kind of crazy. So when it fights Aquaman, it basically just shoots a blended SpongeBob SquarePants at him, and it sucks all the moisture out of his body. Never takes a hit from him, doesn't hurt him at all. It just sucks the moisture up, which is obviously exploiting a weakness of him. And then the big one, Superman, comes in. It does take a hit from Superman, and it's basically left lying like a sad sack of shit. It gets back up, and then it starts walloping Superman with these like red dwarf stars that are in its knuckles, which I suppose like you could calc how impressive that is like just normally, but for Heralds that's not going to be very impressive. And then Superman just drops a building on it and rips Batman straight out of it, and that's the end of Justice Buster. That's all it does, and it's not very impressive.
And the sad part is Batman's like, I spent this much money on the Justice Buster, and it was a really big amount. So like, even for
He's
Billy
rich.
Man,
He's fine.
yeah.
Like, I know, like, people make jokes about the Hulkbuster getting torn up a lot, but this is a whole other level of disappointment.
This is like
This is Batman's
Flat
big
disrespect.
chungus suit, and it just basically, it only properly fights one Herald, who takes it out in 2 punches, essentially. Which, actually, no, he only
So
punches it
funny.
once. Superman only punches it once. The other time, he just drops a building on it and then rips it with his, like, rips it up like a piece of paper. And it's funny because, like, in the comic, Batman's like, you know, I've got this shit to deal with your heat vision, and I got this shit to deal with, like, your frost breath, and I've got these dwarf stars in my hands if you come up close, so come at me, Clark. And literally, the next page, he just shoots the building on him and comes at him. He blasts him with his heat vision, which is not deflected, and then he just rips it up. Like, Batman taunts him and immediately gets his shit pushed in. It's great. So that's probably not going to be very important to the outcome of this battle.
No, it will not be. Oop, voice crack. Alright, let's see. What's next?
The other
Batman's
one,
White Lantern.
the other one I wanted to
Oh,
talk about that was hyped up is the Galactusbuster that Tony's got.
Not even canon.
I have actually seen some people go, "Oh fuck, Tony's gonna crush him. He's got this suit, mate, that's like designed to take on Galactus, bro." And the problem is, It is literally Galactusbuster.png. That is the entire thing. Is just a PNG.
It's just a still image of Galactusbuster. It's so funny.
And it's just from Earth 30847, the Marvel vs. Capcom one. Which means if you were to say, oh, maybe it scales to, like, really high-tier Heralds. Like, how strong are the Heralds in Marvel vs. Capcom? What feats do they have? Not many that I'm aware of.
I mean, didn't, like... Wait, that's the same one with, like, Ultron Sigma, right?
Yes, but the Galactusbuster came before that. The Ultron Sigma
true.
happens after, because the Galactusbuster was Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And Ultron Sigma is infinite.
Never mind.
Plus, I think, like, isn't the Infinity Gauntlet, which is, I think, what Ultron Sigma is powered by, is, like, Infinity Stones. Aren't they more powerful than, like, regular Galactus anyway?
Well,
Yeah.
there was you're half right, sort of. More powerful specifically than the Ultimate Nullifier. Like, it was said that, like, an incomplete Gauntlet surpasses the Ultimate Nullifier.
I remember that.
Which killed Multi-Eternity, but
Yeah.
to be honest, everyone has killed Multi-Eternity at this point. Even me.
Yeah,
It's like weird. It was like the Gauntlet has like these specific abilities that can like stop the nullifier like, in a battle of like which is more powerful directly. It's like up in the air, but probably the nullifier has better feeds, less low ends. Yeah.
Oh, there's some crazy sounds going on now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But yeah, so the Galactusbuster can't use it. It never does anything. You can't even be like, well, I mean, it was designed to be Galactus, so it should scale. Because by that logic, the Justice Buster was designed to fight the Justice League, so it should scale to Phantom Stranger.
Yeah, Wonder Woman beat up Phantom Stranger, and clearly the Justice Buster scales to her.
Didn't Superman also do that at one point?
He like punched him metaphysically.
How?
Physically.
Oh, right, Story of Superman, I forgot.
Alright, next up for Batman, we got the White Lantern ring. So this definitely won't be included. In Brightest Day, Batman was shown with a group of heroes about to assault Necron. But in this time span, Nemesis was talking about the Justice Buster. In Batman Universe, issue 5, Batman taps into an ancient White Lantern ring that Vandal Savage was trying to track down. He briefly held his own against the entire Green Lantern Corps, including John Stewart. And Batman himself said that even that ring had power over time and space itself. So, yeah, not much else to say there.
And I mean, like, the White Lantern ring should give you the abilities of, like, any other ring. So, like...
Yeah, like I mentioned...
The blue spectrum or the red one or, like, literally any color.
There's another video...
Actually, that's not entirely true, Akil. That was technically more or less Kyle's ordeal. Like, because Kyle was the... Yeah, Kyle was the only one who had to, like, master every single emotion to get to White Lantern, whereas, like... Bats just got it on hand and that's it. So I wouldn't say he can use the entire emotional spectrum, but he should be able to use like the other White Lantern abilities, which I mentioned either in the it depends on when Phantom's done, but either in the video before this one or the one after this one.
Yeah, specifically prediction. The prediction before or after this one will be one relating to the White Lantern.
Yeah,
you can probably guess what that is based on just that.
I'll just briefly say it, like stuff like life manipulation, like resurrecting people, healing people, being connected to all of life itself, being able to view people visually without any physical means, etc., etc.
Oh, he's going to bring back Tony's parents.
Can't forget.
Hey! He should bring back his own parents. Okay, let's see.
Hey, Bruce, if you're so fucking sad, why don't you just bring your fucking parents back to life, loser?
Alright, next up. Oh, I love this. The Omniversal Wormhole Bullet. You know what?
You should say that for the last, because it's like the most epic.
It's so based. Should we?
Yeah, you should save it.
Should we save the archetypal? Okay, wait. Why did we agree to mention the archetypal bullet? Because like it doesn't even belong to Batman anymore.
Yeah, that's Darkseid's bullet though.
Yeah, but he used it for Darkseid. It's like
Yeah, he used it to kill Darkseid. Darkseid used it to kill Orion.
Wait, so
He
is
didn't
that
only kill
that's different
Darkseid.
to the
Superman
wormhole
killed
bullet? Hold on. I only know of one bullet. I'll be honest.
There are two bullets.
There's two. Remember in Final Crisis when Batman shot Darkseid, then he got shot by the Omega Sanction?
I do not know. I just remember.
But what? That was like the one time Batman like legitimately died.
Wow.
Actually, he died. He died. No. He's died twice. In New 52, after like a prolonged fight with Joker, he died.
Wow.
Um,
That's sad.
but yeah, it's a conceptual and archetypal bullet. Darkseid uses it to kill Orion.
Yeah.
It's basically like, this
So,
one's
so much for
saying a
saving
lot,
that
but
for
it's
last.
it's
Batman describes it the best. He basically says it's like the bullet fired from any other gun
Yeah,
that has ever shot
it's
someone.
the platonic
It's like
concept
the
of
very
a bullet.
concept of a bullet, and
and he
used it
shot
on
True Form
Darkseid.
Darkseid with it, who exists in
Yeah.
the sphere of gods, mind you, which
I mean, it took place on Earth, but like Darkseid used it to kill Orion's true form, and that like took place in a plane above Earth, and like Orion fell to Earth, and like his emanations scattered across the multiverse, something like that.
Didn't
Yeah,
Darkseid also
mind you,
fall
like-
after the fight?
yeah, didn't like his shadow like cast
Yeah.
over the multiverse. Yep.
Yeah,
So then, I guess for some cosmology scaling involved in this, since you mentioned True Form Orion, so obviously the new gods exist in the sphere of the gods, which should be baseline outerversal in terms of where it lies on the DC cosmology map. So it transcends duality itself. It scales above the five-dimensional bleed and such. So generally speaking, the bullet itself is stupidly just like it would just. Would you say it would kill even like Godkiller Tony? Obviously he can't use it, but I
I
feel
mean,
like
it's I mean, to a degree, it like negates durability because it like attacks you on a conceptual level. So like,
I don't think
unless
Tony
you
can
can
come
resist
back from
that,
that.
yeah.
But yeah,
I mean,
we'll save the
Tony's not-
Omniversal bullet
Yeah.
for last.
Right. I guess I should explain. So depending on whether the videos come out or not, you might already have my explanation of what dimensional tiering is and all that. But
Here we go again.
basically it's just if you are in a higher spatial dimension, you are infinitely more powerful than what's below, because what's below only exists on so many vectors and like directions, and it can't affect you on all of the directions you exist on. Outerversal goes a bit beyond that in that it's just above dimensions. Dimensions no
Yes.
longer apply, basically. There are levels to Outerversal, which you could call dimensions if you wanted to, but that would be wrong. It's more like just tiers of Outerversal, like how there's different levels of mountain level and planet level and stuff. Baseline Outerversal means just it is above dimensions, but it's not like above other things that are above dimensions. God, this is fucking
And
impossible.
reversal would be like, yeah, high outer reversal would be like outer reversal to the power
Actually-
of outer reversal.
Yeah,
I
like,
guess
if
if I
you-
were to explain it.
If you are
Yeah.
able to just transcend Outerversal
Yeah.
to a point where Outerversal would just equivalent to fiction to you, like the way a human being would view a drawing would be how Outerversal views anything below it, and also how high Outerversal would view Outerversal, like it's just a drawing, a picture. It's not real.
This feels somewhat out of
Sort
place
of,
talking about this in a
but-
freaking Batman video. Like this doesn't go well together. Batman and
I thought we would get into this at like Galactus versus Unicron or something, and then
but
No.
nah, we got Batman versus Iron Man. You know what? I'll take it.
yeah.
Okay, so next up we got another prep time suit, the Insider suit. So the Insider suit so this was after Final Crisis actually.
I don't know
after
this one.
he was shot through time itself by Darkseid, he came back and everyone assumed he was dead obviously, so he used this stealthy Sam Fisher looking suit to linger around Gotham City, see what life was like without him. So let's see. The suit has 7 special modes that he can activate that give him different powers. So you have Spectral Mode, gives Batman night vision lenses with a Spectral Mode, light and sound dampening technology, and he's even canceled out EMP mind control. He has Speed Force Mode, which obviously doesn't give him like the full extent of the Speed Force, but like he can accelerate his speed much faster. Like he once went like a few hundred feet in a second. He has heat vision mode, which also so for reference, all of these they aren't directly like taken from like Kryptonian heat vision or like Green Lantern's willpower, but I guess they're meant to mimic or inspire from them. So heat vision mode, he expels a large beam of energy from its helmet and the eye lenses, which acts as a taser. It was strong enough to knock out Halo, one of the members of the Outsiders.
I don't know who that is.
And then willpower mode, it mimics like a Green Lantern's ability to shoot green energy out of it, so it shoots out of its fingertips. Camouflage mode turns Batman invisible. Veritas mode, this one's inspired from Wonder Woman's Lasso of Truth. It can release a filament cord that can, I guess, tell you if they're telling the truth or not. Acts as a lie detector, and if they're lying or if they're refusing to tell the truth, they can get electrically shocked. Flight mode obviously lets them fly. Teleportation mode, it has a 3-meter radius, and you can use it to remove someone from the battlefield.
Just 3 meters.
And teleport people away via the Justice League teleporting system. I guess some other things about it. It has energy absorption. It once absorbed an energy blast from Geoforce and took a lot of hits from Geoforce, actually. A decently high tier Herald to an extent. He's fought people who have knocked out Wonder Woman unconscious. He's really strong, especially when he's on the ground, etc., etc. So, but it's worth noting that Batman wasn't even sure if he could take another hit from Geoforce. Otherwise, he would have been knocked unconscious. But Batman was still able to knock Geo unconscious himself. And I guess for a drawback of the suit, each ability has a 30-second cooldown, and the willpower one has a 24-hour cooldown. So he can't just spam each and every one ability at once. So in the grand scheme of things, this suit is like a basic Herald tier suit. That's about it. Like, I don't think it can I guess you could probably pit it against let's see. I mean, maybe Endosym, but generally speaking, this won't matter in the grand scheme of things. Still really useful though. All right.
So can he make constructs with willpower mode, or do we only see it shoot energy?
Just shoot energy. It hasn't shown any constructs.
That's kind of lame. So, it's 24 hours, but all it can do is essentially what heat vision mode does.
Yeah. Mad dumb. So let's see. Next up, we got the Mobius Chair. So the Mobius Chair is also something that would definitely not be included in the episode. Mobius Chair is a chair created by in New 52 was created by the Anti-Monitor to assist him in his quest for knowledge. Metron, the new god, is mostly associated with this chair, like the new god of knowledge and whatnot.
It's really powerful.
Yeah, for a brief time during Darkseid War, Batman had access to the Mobius Chair, so I guess some general background of what it can do. So, it protected Metron from the Anti-Monitor's antimatter, and mind you, antimatter from the Anti-Monitor has had instances where it's erased entire universes from existence, wiped them out completely. Antimatter is super duper strong. So it gave Batman omniscience and basically general knowledge of everything in the universe. Batman can use it as a boom tube. He can go to different points in the multiverse, or even out of it entirely and travel through time and space. Let's see what else.
It's been
he can use it. Oh,
you can go. Yeah.
You can use it to peer into the past or look into past timelines as well. And then, let's see. What were we gonna say, Akil? What were we gonna say?
It was explained in Death Metal, in a tie-in that Metron believed the chair was so powerful that he could unlock the secrets of the source, and he was able to watch the battle between the Darkest Night and Perpetua, which was taking place in a plane that was beyond everything, including the sphere of the gods, and he could just observe and witness the story of creation from beyond basically the multiverse and the bleed and all that stuff. So it is really powerful, and in terms of where he can go, there's not really that big of a limit.
Do you have
And
those? Do you have those scans in the document?
No, but I have them like on my screen right now. So
Yeah, do
Canvases,
share
don't tell
those.
them we're using a document.
Mhm.
And then one last ability the Mobius Chair has, Batman. He has a great extensive range of telepathy. Like when he visited Gotham, he was basically able to tap into the entire city's like thoughts, like every single person in Gotham. So he can, yeah, he has, I guess, telepathy on pretty huge scales as well. And telepathy actually plays like a big factor in most of this, like, I guess, discussion with it, especially when you get to the higher tier suits. But we'll get to that later. All right. And
The
the next
street tier
up.
Batman.
So then we got. All right, here we go. Here's where it gets, I guess, a bit more spicy. So we got the Hellbat, which will be included in the episode. It was directly confirmed with the teasers and stuff. So the Hellbat is muy importante. So
It's like his
I
most
guess
famous of like the super strong suits, right?
yeah,
Like, it's that or Justice
yeah.
Buster. One of them is like of the prep time suits, the
Like
most
Hellbat
famous.
is like, yeah, it's got that stigma like, oh, it's the suit that fought Darkseid. So it's pretty popular. So I guess some introduction on what the Hellbat is. I guess basically it's a suit that Batman used to confront Darkseid. Obviously, like, he had the Justice League help him, I guess, forge the suit. Superman forged yeah, like the whole Justice League pitched into help with the suit. Superman forged the armor into the sun. Green Lantern, uh, it's not really clear in the scan what he does with it. I can only assume give him more willpower. Flash tested out with the Speed Force.
I'm wondering what
Cyborg
Aquaman did.
I'll get to it. Cyborg was definitely infusing it with some apocalypse technology. Aquaman tested to withstand the depths of the ocean, and possibly could have added some Atlantean tech. Um, yeah, he's like testing it on like water geysers, so just like I guess help its durability. And then Wonder Woman, by the looks of it, she's taking it to Hephaestus for enchantments and stuff or enhancements. So it's a really powerful suit, and this was the suit that, famously, of course, he used to fight Darkseid. So before we go over, I guess,
okay.
the Darkseid fight, because the Darkseid fight has a lot to dissect from it. So I guess what we'll do is we'll go over some basic abilities. It can fly. It has photonic cloaking that allows him to be invisible. Bruce has a telepathic link to the suit. He can. Also has. Let's see. I believe he has a mother box.
So, some people say that he can't use the Hellbat because it like needs the whole Justice League to use it. I haven't heard that outside of people trying to just disregard it. So, like in any of the Marvel DC scaling circles that like I'm part of, I don't see anybody bring that up. So I'm just confused about that.
I believe that is a thing, but I think Batman, like, I don't know if this is entirely accurate, but like he I think he hacked beyond that and just like said, yeah, I'm gonna go either way. So
I don't care what
that's
kind of
Batman
firewalls you've got.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fellas, there was your
then-
funny Green Lantern Ben 10 reference of the day. You're welcome.
So then let's
There
see some other basic abilities. It has like symbiotic wings it can summon. It has a lot of energy attacks like area of effect ones. It can shoot it from the bat symbol. It also has a Devastator attack, which is just a powerful charged energy punch. So let's see. Let's get to, I guess, the fight with Darkseid. And actually, there is also a fight with Eradicator as well. So with this one, you kind of have to clear up a lot of misconceptions about it because it has a lot about it. So obviously in the fight, Batman does get a lot of solid hits on him, and then there are arguments that like, oh, he drew blood from Darkseid and stuff. But in I guess the first punch thrown, I believe it was. Let me just make sure. The scan's right here. Yeah, the first punch Batman threw, people are saying that Darkseid got blood drawn from him, but that's clearly energy in his eye. I don't think it's blood.
Wait, what?
And also, yeah, like, well, I mean, it's something that's been brought up before.
I'm gonna take a look at it. Yeah, that's not blood. That's definitely like just
That's not
because
blood.
like that happens
His
with Darkseid a lot.
Omega.
He just
Yeah.
his eyes glow. I think the problem is that
Mhm.
his right eye isn't glowing, just the left eye. So people are just assuming it's
Mm-hmm.
blood. But nah, that doesn't look like blood to me.
So throughout the fight, Batman even uses bats to distract him. He takes it from himself. So generally speaking, there's nothing really wrong, I guess, with actually, yeah, there's nothing really wrong with like the content of the fight. Bruce lands a few solid punches that knock his head back and I guess stagger him a little bit. Even like his swarm of bats like throw off Darkseid entirely. So, but it is worth noting just a few things. So, within the fight, the suit's been said that it can, mind you, that it can drain Bruce's life, and if he wears it for too long, it could potentially kill him. So, let's see. Within the fight, Bruce was incredibly weakened as well. Like Darkseid had him pinned down entirely, and also worth noting that there's also the whole thing that Darkseid did let him get away. So the whole thing around that, like, so Darkseid willingly let Batman get away. He said, "Leave them be for now. We will see them soon enough." So Darkseid was, I guess people are also in like, was Darkseid holding back during the fight? To that, I would say probably not. He did look pretty pissed off in the earlier scans, but obviously letting him go kind of contradicts that. So it's very likely that he was probably waiting on the entire Justice League to come to his doorstep and I guess fight him there.
It was just an avatar,
Um,
right? It was just an avatar of Darkseid.
oh yeah, that's another thing. New 52 didn't function under true form slash avatars. Like, it's weird, but yeah, they didn't have that because of the retcons, obviously. So, but I guess for some scaling, New 52 Darkseid, he was still pretty powerful. Like in his first appearance, he was basically like destroying the Justice League. Like obviously they were all super duper weaker, but like it pretty much established him as like a threat to the entire Justice League. Obviously, you have stuff like him fighting the multiversal green enhanced Alan Scott, fighting Darkseid War Anti Monitor, who was going to crack open the multiverse. Like overall, he's still like super duper powerful. So,
Yeah,
um,
I've just seen people say that
Based
like the Hellbat scales to true form Darkseid.
yeah, no, he definitely does not.
It doesn't. Based on current info, it would be like it would be an emanation back then, because like currently in Infinite Frontier, Darkseid was like, I'm gonna combine all of my past selves, and for some reason my power is way higher than it's ever been before, and all
I
that.
don't get that.
So
Like, shouldn't that just make him into true form Darkseid again? Because like all the
I have no
emanations
idea.
are just they come from him. That's weird.
And
I
then
mean-
another thing. Oh, sorry, Akil.
No, you can go. I was
And
done.
another thing in the fight that I guess counts towards Bruce is that Batman actually did outsmart Darkseid and tricked him into using his Omega beams on him, which he used with the crystal to a Chaos Crystal, I believe it's called. To I guess he actually did fully react to the Omega beams and like redirect them into the crystals. So that is also a good. Oh, sorry, the Chaos Shard was it? The Chaos Shard. He basically, yeah, he redirected the Omega beams, which obviously have given like people like Flash and Superman trouble and outpacing. So it was a pretty good feat. And then you also have Lois Lane use it to fight the Eradicator. Um,
Oh yeah.
in terms of the fight, yeah, Lois had the upper hand. Lois had the upper hand in the fight. Uh, John Kent was also there, who was like somewhat powerless against Eradicator. He helped
Was it
to like distract him.
Crypto
John
also
Kent?
there.
Crypto was he? I don't think he was. But yeah, Lois thoroughly like took down Eradicator, so it's
Crypto
so
is
yeah,
super strong. Just for those of you who don't know, like
Yeah.
he's
so yeah.
bit
Overall,
Superboy Prime hard enough to like.
He's a herald at least.
Yeah, Crypto is really.
no way he's not a Herald. Like he nearly killed Mongol too. So,
Yeah, Crypto is there.
but yeah, Hellbat overall. This fight with Darkseid, obviously, I guess the way you could put it is he more or less downscales to Darkseid. Like he was holding his own the fight well enough to land good hits. he didn't like get completely, I guess, tossed out of the fight. Like he was able to get back up even when Darkseid had him basically pinned to like his death. So and that too, like Eradicator's Herald as well. So the suit's obviously still the Herald.
So yeah,
So
how into Herald is New 52 Darkseid? Like at that point in
I'd
time.
say
Oh, really high up there.
definitely
Like,
really high.
yeah.
Like I said earlier, like he's pretty much established as a Justice League level threat. I mean, obviously that like should carry over in terms of getting more powerful because like he Darkseid New 52 was like their first ever opponent they fought, and it's not entirely out of the water to say that Darkseid, along with the Justice League, just kept getting stronger over the years. So he would, generally speaking, I guess, upscale to them. Like it makes sense that in the Justice League, the fact that the Justice League as well helped make this suit, like it should be assumed it's pretty good in terms of like overall, I guess, attack potency. But yeah,
So it's pretty high tier Herald suit.
yes. So I think that should cover everything for the Hellbat. Although I guess I should point out like the whole like it can kill Bruce if he's in it for too long and like siphons his life force. When Lois had the Hellbat, that was never really an indication or never brought up. So hypothetically, you can assume that like that weakness doesn't really, I guess, apply anymore. It's
I
a bit
guess
weird. Like they don't bring it up at all.
I think something more important is that Darkseid is definitely stronger than Eradicator, so he would be pushing Batman a lot more to like use more of his power, and Batman was already like sick and like weakened before he got in the Hellbat, or like not before he got in, but like
Yeah,
by the
so
time he got to Apocalypse. So like
I guess you can somewhat argue that maybe if he was like in fighting condition, he would have stood at the very least a better chance.
mhm.
Like, and then, yeah, that should be everything.
Is
Just in the
is
Hellbat.
composite Lois
Ax-
Lane stronger than composite Aquaman?
I
No,
mean,
no, she's not. She's
probably not. I mean, mind you, Lois Lane. There was a time when she became like one of Brainiac's. I think what's like Brainiac's army. Yeah,
What?
I'm not kidding. Lois Lane was like mind controlled and turned into one of.
Actually, I don't know if this apply. Actually, no, it would. I think like Superman and Lois, like their love is powerful enough to
Wait,
like.
didn't Lois learn Theta State or like she
What?
was being taught Theta State? Wait, remember? Like I think in like that whole like scan where he like actually projects himself, like didn't Lois do it as well?
Yeah, I think she did.
Oh shoot!
It was
Crap,
either
Lois.
Lois or like someone else.
Hey Lois, remember that time I learned Theta State?
Lois, remember the time you just happened to access the state that's, able to be like universal and shit?
Yeah, yeah. Like Lois Lane became like a node to Brainiac. She was able to telepathically hurt Wonder Woman.
Oh
So
my
yeah.
god, composite
Yeah,
Lois
I
Lane
think
is
Lois
hench.
actually might be more powerful than Aquaman.
What
Holy
about
crap,
what about
Lois.
Martian Manhunter?
Maybe I don't know.
Martian
I mean,
Manhunter
she only has a
isn't
few.
that strong in composite when compared to like other members of the league.
Yeah, he doesn't have like those like super high composite like non-standard forms like the rest. Like he has Furnace, but that was like It was just him, but like evil.
What about
Okay, and then
story of
we're getting a
Martian
bit off track,
Manhunter?
so. All right, so Akil, this is where I believe you were going to talk about the final Batsuit.
Yes. So the Final Batsuit is a more recent addition to like Batman's technology and like all his stuff. So basically it's a suit that he would build in the future or like sometime not in the present. Like yeah, basically
future.
he would build it in the future around this thing called the Sunbox, which was a chair made up of element X. And
Motherbox,
Element
Sunbox.
is like one of these metals in DC. Like it's the metal that makes up practically everything in creation, from like technology that's built by the new gods. It's also made up of element X, and like Wonder Woman's bracelets, which
The Miracle Machine.
are really powerful. And yeah, the Miracle Machine that was able to like amp
Just
Superman
realized, like,
enough to like where he could beat Darkseid, and like it could mess with Mandrak. I mean, Mandrak was like a bit weakened, but it was like able to like help resolve Final Crisis into this happy ending. So, yeah, it's really powerful in that sense, and it's also has some really good hacks. Like, it can rewrite the minds of people down to the cellular level, and it works on characters like um, Martian Manhunter, who is one of the best telepaths in DC. Like, the guy can he's way better than Aquaman when he's really going all out. He can put new gods like just new gods in general to sleep, and old gods like Vishnu, who like he's an old god and resides in the sphere of the gods. So like he should be like an archetypal deity that transcends the bleed and the speed force and all that. Um he can easily break into the minds of Green Lantern like Hal Jordan. He can bypass Hal's resistances. He can bypass Flash's resistances, Superman's resistances, Larfleeze, characters like that. He's easily overpowered Despero, who's also one of the best telepaths in DC. Like, he went all out and just like completely destroyed Despero. And Despero can tangle with the entire league, so that's really impressive. So, like, Martian Manhunter, when he's going all out, he's one of those characters that suppresses himself. But when he goes all out, he can easily contend with characters that are well above his weight class and the weight class of, like, entire teams. So, yeah, he's really good at what he does.
And you've got all those scans in the chat, right?
Yeah, I have.
Do you also have the one where he does it on Manhunter with the Final Batsuit?
He doesn't directly do it.
You mean like Manhunter versus Final Batsuit is what you're asking?
Yeah.
I think they match like he matched like his psychic beams in their fight and like
that was
the scary here
of Hawkgirl and Martian Manhunter.
Oh yeah, by the way, the Final Batsuit's massive.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's fucking big.
It's like I think it's like its biggest suit to date.
Yeah. I'm very mixed on its appearance, I'll be honest.
I mean, cool. Yeah, so it would rewrite Martian Manhunter's mind, and that's, like, something very few characters can do. I mean, like, I feel like if I had to, like, talk about characters who could, I guess, like, Starro could probably do it, but, like, that's a completely different story.
Starro?
Beyond that...
Starro's pretty strong, though.
Yeah, Starro's really strong, and,
sadly, he loses his one matchup.
Like, the Mindscape, the Dreamscape, whatever it's called.
I
think Dream of the Endless had to get involved against Starro.
Yeah.
Not to say Starro's Dream of the Endless tier.
It did fight the entire league minus Superman, or like the heavy hitters, I guess. I mean, Hawkgirl is a Herald tier. I wouldn't say she's like the strongest Herald, but in terms of really, really strong Heralds, it was able to like beat Flash and
of course
beat Wonder Woman. So it was really good in terms of that. Yeah. And I mean that would also mean it should scale to their physical feats. And I feel like it's probably safe to say that it could probably scale to speedsters more than like most other characters, because like it was like bodying the entire team to the extent that they could barely do anything to it. And World Forger was even like, you could stop them instantly. You don't need to like play around with them and, you know, hold back because they're your friends. But Batman was suppressing himself and no one could really do anything about it. So
and, you still had to get Superman to save the day.
Yeah, it's a team busting suit. I would say it can take on multiple Heralds at once, even really strong ones like Flash, Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter. So yeah, it should be good in terms of that.
So it is Batman's strongest.
Much.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
In terms
like, I'd say it like has much more concrete scaling to like the other Justice League Heralds and stuff. So you could probably scale him to feats like Kyle Rayner blocking Imperious's multiple galaxy-empowered Big Bang, Baryon sending the space-time continuum into oblivion. You could scale him to a lot of Superman feats, hypothetically, like harming Aether, the creator of the Phantom Zone, which contains multiple universes. General stuff like that, like general Herald feats like that, he should feasibly scale to, since, yeah, World Forger said he couldn't he was easily holding back on the league, and that he could have just stopped the fight, but
Mhm.
he chose not to.
And in
And then
terms of
Yeah.
speed, I would say he should scale to the best of the best. Like Wonder Woman, she nearly tapped into the Speed Force, so did Hell. She could block the God shard things from the edge of the universe, and that's really
and then
impressive.
tags, and then also tagging, zoom, and stop time.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You could get the
She could
Final
tag
Batsuit to immeasurable. I'm
running
pretty sure.
through time. I would
Yeah,
say
the
that
measurables where we're getting at.
I would say that DC Heralds, like not all of them, but like the higher tier ones like Shazam, Wonder Woman, Superman, Hal, and obviously Flash. They should have a good deal of infinite to immeasurable speed feats if you really want to scale them there. So, and I would say that the Final Batsuit should scale to them because it's like beyond most finite speed feats, which are still really big in DC because of the like the universe is like in terms of finite numbers, it's like
Yeah, like
significantly
yeah,
bigger.
like Captain Atom. Like I think his gets to like non-aliens with the
It does.
nanosecond universe feats. So finite wise, like either way, DC speed feats are like
Really
way
high.
out there.
Yeah.
Like Marvel and DC are the fastest series on Death Battle, and that includes like Archie, Sonic, and stuff.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
Definitely.
Like even freaking like Lewis from Morningstar, like he has a finite speed feat that has no right to exist, but he does.
It is.
Have you guys seen that
it
one?
is,
Like-
the one where like he relives the entire, all of history in the blink of an
Like-
eye. It's.
Yeah.
I think it's.
And honestly, that's global because it's like not. It's like in terms of Vertigo, they all often use universe as in Lucifer created the universe. He tanked the Big Bang, and you have to realize that that is not just a universal feat because when they say universe, it likely refers to everything on the DC map. And if you've seen that, well, it's a lot more than a universe.
Yeah, it's
So-
a shitload of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Lucifer
So,
feat is the third fastest I've seen. And the second fastest is like a hypothetical, like not a proper feat. It's like the hypothetical speed of Amitabha from I forgot what franchise. I think Toho maybe. I don't know, but just a hypothetical. The only actual feat I've seen faster is from Invisible Dragon.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I know what that feat is, where he just the way it was worded, I think.
Yeah, it's literally just he
up.
moved this distance in this time. It's the most direct feat for speed you could ever get, and it's like
so like
times 10 to the power of
pretentious, but yet so
220.
funny.
It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, I think it was like all right, fine. Invisible Dragon didn't even look back and ran. It was so fast. It was so fast they ran about. Oh my gosh.
You might as well just show it on the screen because
Yeah,
I'll just show on the screen.
Really
This is.
overwhelmed.
I can't even look at this, bro. Like, this
It's,
is like the most pretentious thing I've ever seen in my life.
I think it is 28 28, what's the number? 28 Quatuag Septuagentillion.
Wow.
Quat as
Based.
in 4 on 4 up the fourth tier into Septuagentillion, which is above which is, I think Septuagentillion is a 7th above the Agentillions, which start with Decillions. It's a 7th up into 4 ways into the 7th way up Decillion, essentially. Crazy shit.
Whoa. Alright. So I think that covers everything for Final Batsuit, I mean.
Yeah, that does.
Yeah.
Alright.
Basically, in
Now,
terms of-
alright, now we're gonna.
I would say it's at least multiversal plus you can scale it above because of the element X stuff. It should be at least immeasurable in speed, and its telepathy should at the absolute least upscale from Martian Manhunter, who is one of DC's best. And if he ever gets his episode thingy, I can probably explain better, but yeah. He's super powerful. He's one of DC's strongest heralds. And in terms of telepathy, he's better than most Skyfathers. So, yeah, he's great, and the Final Batsuit is stronger than him by a really good margin.
And I think this is where we get
Alright,
into
sounds good.
Tony.
Yep. We're gonna cover Tony's side, which also includes plethora of like equipment and other giant busted suits he has.
We might as
So the
well
first one,
with his normal stuff. I can't really speak for his mid-tier suits, because, yeah, I don't know about them too
yeah,
well.
like
I looked into one of his so-called mid-tier suits, and it punched Sentry hard enough to make him bleed, and it went up against Doctor Doom and like this guy that fought Hulk or something, so I don't think it's mid-tier.
That's just straight up Herald, like, at least.
Yeah.
Wait, what suit was
not
that?
even close to mid tier. Was it Bleeding Edge? I feel like it had to have been Bleeding Edge.
No, it wasn't
Hold up.
Bleeding Edge. Bleeding Edge is definitely Herald. It was Extremis, and I believe Donnie Cates amped it further.
Of course he did.
So, yeah.
Yeah, the Extremist armor went
Okay,
up against
so
the god of Iron Man, Rull, who's the king of Red, obviously. And he killed a Celestial. That's Donny Cates' Iron Man. He killed Rull.
No, Tony
Mhm.
biologically hacked into a Celestial after like a
Oh
symbiote
my fucking
merged with the Extremis virus thingy. So
God. That was a joke.
that was great.
That was a joke. Bro.
Yeah.
Alright, so for Tony,
Yeah.
So it's like base
first-
Tony is at least middle, at least, right?
yeah, like
And in terms of
any armor within like the same range as like Mark 8 is like mid tier, but then once you get to like the specifically named armors, you probably get to like you get to Herald.
Is
in
Mark
terms of-
1 the only street tier?
is it even street tier? I don't think it has like enough stuff.
I think didn't it like come back and like I remember it came back like you mean like the gray suit, right? Like the
Yeah.
like the tin can one basically.
The funny
Yeah,
one.
it's that one.
Wait. Didn't it like come back and like fight Iron Patriot like when Norman Osborn had Iron Patriot? I think it did. Like I think Iron Patriot was Herald at the time. I remember he fought shoot. Let me look it up. I have like information. Yeah. Iron Patriot was Herald. He fought Ares, the god of war, and Absorbing Man. Oh shoot, he was amped by the Cosmic Cube as well. So yeah, I think Mark 1 is Herald.
Mark 1 is actually really strong. What the fuck?
Wait. Let me just make sure I got this right.
Show me. I need to see this. I need to see the Mark 1 potentially get to Herald.
Okay, wait.
Awesome.
Okay, so this is Mark 1, right? Oh, hold on. This is Mark 1, right? Right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, they were
That's it.
fighting
Yeah,
in like a
that's-
desert.
Wow.
And then, let's see.
So does this mean every Iron Man armor's Herald?
Actually,
Because
he
they all
didn't-
upscale.
Actually, he didn't do it. He didn't. Okay, in hindsight, he didn't do too much to Absorbing Man at the time. Like, it was Sentry who was, like, really doing most, but, like.
Wow, Tony, you're
this
trying to
reminds
steal the credit from Sentry.
Yeah.
This reminds me of
he
I'm like
he fought Ares.
Iron Man fought Mephisto after making an armor out of caveman scrap. And yeah, that was really interesting reading into.
Alright, and then anyways, so for Tony, in terms of like his prep gear, okay, should we start with? I feel like the Wormhole Bullet. We should probably save the Infinity Gauntlet for last.
Yeah, I'll start with the Marvel Herald tier universal feats, because just like DC, Marvel.
Yeah,
their
and then
own-
I'll cover the Euro armor.
Yeah. So basically,
Serious.
I guess the most common one, Death Battle, already used it. It's like Hulk, like fighting Nightcrawler, and their fight like destroyed Nightcrawler's universe, which is like really big, to say the least. You have Thor clashing with another Thor, and it's like sort of compared to the Big Bang. It's like a lot more impressive in how they describe it, but I'll just like stop there for now, and for that feat at least. And then you have Loki fighting this sorcerer called Sisnag as like a child, and their battle was like threatening all of reality, and you have Beta Ray Bill fighting this guy called
Stardust.
Yeah, he's a Herald of Galactus. And their fight was like rattling the firmaments of the universe.
Send me those scans. I have
Yes,
the first
sir.
two, but I don't have the last two.
I got you.
And then like
Nice.
Hulk has broken time and like punched time before. That should also be like unquantifiably high into Universal at the very least. You have Hyperion surviving an incursion, and then you have characters like Gladiator and Hulk who can like beat him up way better than the incursion did. So yeah, Marvel has their own Universal feats, and they have quite a few. And of course, they have higher feats.
So yeah,
like
Marvel
the
and
Hyperion.
DC Heralds are not planet to solar system. Don't be an idiot. And Ghost Rider is not mountain level versus Wiki. He's not mountain level.
Yeah, we see versus Wiki, planet level.
Versus Wiki,
frickin'...
you're really saying Ghost Rider gets his ass
yeah, now
kicked by Poe.
DC's like planet level and stuff.
Some of them are.
Wow.
Doomsday's still solar system. Because like it's based on Superman holding back as planet level, which no, but he does hold back a lot. So I get the logic behind that, but he's not. He's universal when holding back. It's not It's not planet level when he's holding back.
Yeah, my favorite feat. This I mean, I guess this isn't universal, but I'm gonna mention it because it's hilarious.
It's the
and
conceptual vagina.
during Hulk versus Broly, it was horribly misrepresented. But you know Umar Dormammu's sister. So basically, that wasn't a 120 times multiplier when Hulk banged her as Savage Hulk too, because their fight, or not their fight, their their one night, which rhymes with fight, was, according to Silver Surfer, messing with the fabric of eternity, who like embodies everything. In that context, it was multi-eternity too, which makes it a lot more hilarious. But at the very least, it was like affecting the entire multiverse. So not 100.
I made jokes about the multiversal vagina insertion from Fate Extra, but now there's just Marvel with a multiversal fuck, just straight up.
Yeah.
Does DC have an equivalent?
Oh my gosh.
I don't want to imagine that Fate has a weirder sex feat than DC. Come on, DC's gonna have something.
Actually, what if I told you that Swamp Thing has a? It's not really feat, but Swamp Thing has
What?
Okay, you got it.
Well,
Okay, tangent time. You got to share this. Come on.
Alright. Oh, this is gonna be the worst thing ever. Oh my gosh.
Was it
my
with like
It's
Poison
not-
Ivy or like,
With Abigail Kane. Okay, hold up. Oh, this is so bad, but it's not a feat, but it's just the way they. Mom, I'm so sorry. So, in Alan Moore's Swamp Thing issue 34, I believe. So, Swamp Thing, like, he can't. Like, Swamp Thing, in his, like, normal body, he can't, yeah.
Have
He
intercourse.
can't he can't do the mustache tango with Abigail, so Swamp Thing decides to give her this fruit that causes her to hallucinate, and that fruit was like the gateway to the green itself, and Abigail she transcended into the green. They gained this weird primal telepathic link. Yeah, and they kind of just have weird psychedelic space sex or something.
Oh my god.
It's
Akil, get the scans
kind
for that.
of. I'm getting the
Yeah.
scans. This is terrifying. I every time I come back to this, I cry.
you know,
I actually cry. Like,
Wait, are you referring to like Anton
What?
Anton Arcane's fuck. What was she?
sorry, I think it was Abigail Cable. I think last name
Oh,
was.
okay. I was thinking of the niece of Anton.
This
is
it's better than
horrible.
when Deadpool explained his fun times to the One Above All, which also happened.
I'm surprised you've never heard about this from Swamp Thing Nemesis. I feel like you would be the type of person who would.
The last thing I remember from Swamp Thing is when Lucifer showed me just the scan of him just deciding to grow to Outerversal. And I was like, okay, that's enough Swamp Thing for now.
Right, when he grew into the Overvoid, that was great.
What?
That was epic.
It's funny because like
Why not?
It feels like one of those Galaxy Brain memes, but each tier is just a bigger Swamp Thing. That's what it feels like.
Ugh, this last image is especially like. Ugh.
So, what tier is this feat?
Where is it? Well, they were in the realm of the green, so who knows?
Sorry, probably outer. Hey, he
Possibly.
drugged her
That
too.
All right.
He drugged her
While-
Oh
too.
gosh.
Oh no, this is.
While we're on the topic of Swamp Thing,
Swamp
this would
Thing,
literally
Face Man.
be a great meme, because so Marvel has this character called Man Thing,
Oh, yeah.
and
Oh,
in
dear.
one of his issues, like, he's super powerful, and in one of his issues it's described that he's so powerful that he transcends the concept of sex and the concept of identity.
Show
So,
me
like,
that. I want to see
you were
that.
to make
This
a
reminds me
meme
of
that was like the
Joe.
Chad Swamp
This
versus
reminds.
the Virgin Man Thing. That would be like canonical, because yeah.
You need to show me that. This
It's
reminds me
just
of that one thing from JoJo's where Ultimate Car is just listed sex unnecessary. I'm just imagining that.
Oh, I
Man.
found the scan. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Dude, look. This is so funny. It is beyond sex, beyond identity.
Look how sad he looks. Like he's sad about it. He
Dude.
feels bad that he's
does.
beyond sex.
This is so sad. He's got a carrot nose. Oh man, poor Man Thing.
Dude, my face looks like it's got 3
So-
cocks and I'm beyond sex. You know how fucking depressing this is, mate?
So basically, Man Thing cancels out Swamp Thing's ability to have sex in the green.
So
That's terrifying to think about.
if Man Thing vs Swamp Thing
Okay.
becomes a death battle, we got to bring up that Man Thing resists Swamp Thing's sex hacks.
Yeah.
Is hallucinating.
His hallucinating seeds.
His cosmic
Oh
plant
my
sex.
gosh.
All right, now back to the Uru
Jeez.
armor.
Back to
take it away, take it away.
back to the Iron Man versus Bruce. Okay, so we were on the Uru armor.
Yeah, which is the material that Mjolnir is made of.
Yeah, Mjolnir and the Destroyer armor as well. They're both made from Uru. It was
how strong
enchanted by
is it
Odin during the
unenchanted?
fear itself. I don't know.
Oh wait, the suit's
It-
enchanted.
I mean, it
Oh,
probably-
guess it doesn't matter then. Sorry.
The suit enchanted, it fought like 8 celestials, so I'm
What?
pretty sure like
What?
it can depend on.
That's just like a step
You
up.
didn't know
from-
that?
It got trashed.
Oh, it got trashed.
I mean, Mjolnir's had like some pretty powerful feats.
Oh, I
like, on its
know,
own
I
as
know
well,
that
like,
Mjolnir
like
and the
knocked
Destroyer.
the Phoenix Force entity unconscious, I think, as well. So like during Fear itself, Odin's brother, the Asgardian god of fear, he released 7 hammers containing the essences of generals of old on Earth, 8 demonic beings. Most of you probably know that one time when Juggernaut became possessed as the Breaker of Kurth, like those people. So Iron Man plunged into molten Uru. Odin enchanted the armor, and when he emerged, it resembled the Destroyer. And the most that happened with Uru was that he fought Worthy. Worthy are. It's actually a group of people, the group of wielders of the hammers I mentioned that the God of Fear sent out.
One of
So-
them's a Nazi. What?
Yes. So it's pretty powerful overall, although it probably won't matter in the grand scheme of things. But it looks cool, so I wanted to mention it. So
I'm trying to find the Uru armor. Oh, okay, I see it. All right, so it actually is like it looks like the Destroyer. It's similar in
it looks
aesthetic.
cool.
I like
it looks
that.
so
Yeah.
cool. I wish I got more of it.
Who's the dragon?
Yeah, I'm gonna show this on screen.
Who is
And then
that
next up
dragon?
we got the Endosym. Take it away, Akil.
Which is I think the most
I think
iconic
it would be best
of
to
his
cover
powerful
Hulkbuster
ones.
first
All right, yeah, we can do
before
Hulkbuster.
Yeah,
Endosym.
isn't Endosym's like the most popular of like Tony's strong suits because of the death battle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess, I mean, the death battle covered it pretty well, but basically it can absorb energy, and it absorbed this character called Spectrum Monica Rambeau. She's super powerful, easily Herald tier. Beyond that, though, it can transform into its own Hulkbuster, which
Oh,
is
yeah, I
like the
saw that.
strongest Hulkbuster by far, because it's far stronger than the World War Hulkbuster, which fought Green Scar Hulk and was actually winning until Hulk got bombed by the US military, which reminded him of his pregnant wife dying.
He got angry.
And then he got super pissed off and tore apart Tony's entire suit. But until then, it was winning. And Tony did far better than characters like Black Bolt, who can like easily tear apart time and space by screaming and
So
stuff like that.
Did the Green
So-
Sky actually like tank a scream from Black Bolt?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Not a scream, but like pretty serious discussion,
You
like,
just take
oh, I'm
Black Bolt
disappointed in
talking.
you, Hulk. Like, something
You
like
can
that.
take Black Bolt, like, giving him this philosophical life lesson.
So what if Black Bolt steps on a Lego, like in whatever his city's called?
every Lego in the universe dies?
He steps it's like
Yeah.
ah, the planet blows up.
You know, wait, Nemesis, do you know that he can, like, kill someone just by sniffing?
That
He
that
can.
sounds. Well, I mean, I imagine because like some of the best parts of Black Bolt is when he just whispers and he smacks someone. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine if he went.
Let's hope he never gets a cold. That would be bad.
This is why
This
this
dude
is why,
proceeds to send a shockwave to overspace.
that's why we don't let him watch comedy films. Like he's sitting there watching a Monty Python movie. He's like, ha, boom, planet gone.
Alright, so
So that was the Mark II Hulkbuster, right?
was that everything for Hulkbuster?
I
wait.
guess it's important to mention that Hulkbuster Mark 1 is like not as strong, but it can still like go up against Professor Hulk, who should like scale to Savage Hulk's universe busting feat. So yeah, still pretty strong, but not as good as Hulkbuster Mark 2.
Ah. What's after the Hulkbuster and Thorbuster? I think?
Thorbuster, which was also Akil's ground to cover.
You got this, bro.
Thorbuster
Hey.
can go up against Thor. It was like made up of an Asgardian crystal that can like harness Asgardian magic, and he fought Thor, and not just normal Thor either. He fought Odin Force Thor, who
Odin.
scales to Odin's feats, which we will get to later in the video, because that's an important part of, some of the scaling for other stuff. But basically, he fought Skyfather Thor and did pretty well. I mean, he obviously lost, and Thor was like, once he started getting serious, he did lose. But at the very least, I would say Thorbuster should scale to like normal Thor. And that's really good because normal Thor is still like one of the strongest heralds that you could think of in Marvel. So yeah, that's
Would it
pretty
scale to like the God-Blast, or is that a bit too high up for the
good.
Thorbuster?
No, bit too much.
Okay, the Godblast is super weird, but yeah, I probably wouldn't scale.
No, it wouldn't. It's good, but it's not that good. Yeah.
Alright.
How many of his Buster
The
arms
next
like
up we
don't get
got-
destroyed?
Tony got a lot of busters in their name.
Ironically, the
And then-
Galactusbuster
so the
is
next
one of the few
one-
that doesn't get destroyed.
Alright, so Akil, let's hear about the Phoenixbuster next.
The Phoenixbuster is a really interesting suit. And basically, Tony built it during the events of Avengers versus X-Men, when the Phoenix Force came to Earth to take who was it, Hope Summers with her? Or
That's where my hate for
no.
Cyclops
Yeah.
began.
Yeah, something like that. Basically, it created a war between the Avengers and the X-Men on how to deal with the matters of Hope. And in order to deal with that, Tony built the Phoenixbuster. And originally he was thinking about using it and sacrificing himself to commit suicide with it or something, and then Black Panther was like, no, you can't do that, you don't deserve that. So, just go in there and bust the Phoenix Force. And basically that's what Tony did, and it sort of worked, but it also sort of failed. It eventually backfired, but he hit the Phoenix Force so hard that it shattered into 5 pieces and possessed 5 X-Men I believe it was Cyclops, Emma Frost, Magic, Namor and Colossus.
Namor's not an X-Man.
Hmm.
But he has
And the
mutants.
best part about it was that the Phoenixbuster, while it didn't necessarily kill the Phoenix Force, it did like significantly damage it. You could like see the Phoenix Force screaming out of pain as it breaks down, like it shatters. That was like way more damage inflicted on the Phoenix in that comic. Like no one damaged the Phoenix Force more than Tony did, except for Scarlet Witch and Hope Summers, who used Wanda's chaos magic to erase the Phoenix from existence.
And Scarlet Witch is
like,
very strong.
But like honestly, if you like take a look at Wanda or Hope, you'll realize like that really doesn't mean anything to Tony, because like you had characters like Thor and Hulk and Professor X and several other heavy hitters like Magneto, and they all couldn't do anything. But Tony did more than all of them could possibly hope to do. And in terms of that, that is really good. Because, again, we'll get to the Phoenix scaling later, because it's going to come up with the Godkiller armor and, like, several other Skyfather tier scaling. But, yeah, we'll get to that.
Isn't the Phoenix above Skyfather?
Gordon.
It is, yeah.
I think...
I mean, it depends, because, like...
Well, I mean...
The Phoenix is sort of like...
right?
It's like Darkseid in that it has avatars.
Yeah.
So, like, it doesn't come down in its true form, which, like, resides beyond creation.
Isn't it, like, the White Room or something like that?
The White Hot Room.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that...
See,
yeah,
I do know a few things. I do know a few things.
Yeah.
When are we gonna get the Deep Blue Sauna, which transcends all...
It's all the fault of you two.
I swear, sometimes these cosmology names are so funny. The White Hot Room.
Prepare for the Black Dark
White
Tower.
Hot Room.
The House of Ideas.
You have a room. You have a house. And
we're gonna get the backyard of like duality.
This is the one above all's favorite place, the pergola of vaguely interesting concepts.
There are a lot of...
Oh, I love comics. Alright, so then next up we got the Godbuster. Now this is where I come in,
which is different to the
I totally
Godkiller.
didn't last minute research the Godbuster today. Yeah, Godbuster and Godkiller are two separate things.
I know some people do mix them.
Godbuster. Yeah, Godbuster is the one that looks like an EVA unit.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, actually. Like, honestly, the cover is amazing. So, for the Godbuster, so this was in a story arc where Tony built this thing called the Escape. It's basically like this universe. It's like imagine like a VR headset. Like it's Tony's VR headset. It's a whole other reality where you can just, I guess, mess around. It's interesting. So in this comic, Tony also has the Godbuster armor. It's a suit that he built. He built the suit, I guess, to help him escape the mental influence of the Escape. He was able to defeat the motherboard within the Escape, who was mentally influencing Tony the whole way through, and basically wiped her out of existence. And apart from that, he doesn't have too much on paper. He doesn't have too much feats that like stand out. He defeated the Controller, an Iron Man rogue who was like amplified by the mental energies of the Escape, who was previously stopping the Avengers. But the Avengers rosters at the time, it didn't have like Hulk or Thor. It had like Vision's daughter and like Kamala Khan.
What?
So it wasn't. Wait, did I get that right? Vision's daughter?
I did not know Vision had a daughter, I'll be honest.
All I know it was Woman Vision. Yeah, Viv, the synthesized daughter of Vision.
That makes sense.
That being said, there are still some feats that come from it, even if the Godbuster doesn't do much. Like, Tony was able to completely rebuild his entire body on a cellular level from informational scrap. He like digitally like rebooted his memories and brain. It's kind of confusing. And this was
That's
like from
where
a
I
clone
got
of Tony
the
as
idea
well.
from, like the escape from, which is like this plane of reality where everything is just like VR, and like Tony can do whatever he wants in that. He's like basically the of escape.
Yeah.
Sword Art Online Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And then we got Godkiller Mark II. Akio, let's see.
Ah, yeah, this is the big
Yeah.
boy.
So this one, like Hellbat, has a lot going to it. So basically, when this fight was first announced, there was like no one in the middle. Everyone was either Team Batman or Team Iron Man for varying reasons. But on Iron Man's side, it was all Godkiller is high outerversal and can just completely decimate everything Batman can do. The problem with this is it is partially true, but it's also like partially wrong to the extent that everything I said in the second part of that just doesn't apply. Because there are two God Killers. One was made by the Aspirants. And for those of you who don't know what the Aspirants are, they're basically they're celestials, but they were created by the first firmament before everything existed. And this is a lot of lore compressed into
I just want to
like,
point out the
one
aspirants
short thing.
sound like a type of cough lolly.
It does, yeah, yeah,
Pop an aspirin, that'll
the
deal
first
with your
firmament-
problems.
yeah. The first firmament is the first universe. It's like the first thing, the one above all created. Like not like the first thing, because you have like everything was created by the one above all. So obviously you have stuff like Oblivion and Null who like existed before the first firmament technically. But you know, the first firmament was the first universe, and he created the Celestials or the Aspirants. And basically the Aspirants like obeyed the first firmament in terms of everything. And then there were some who like did their own things. They were, you know, the creative ones and could just they were free, they were rebellious, and these became the Celestials. And basically the Aspirants got really pissed off. They were like, you aren't worshiping our Lord and Savior. And they had this giant war, which like, I mean, I can't really say how long it went on because time didn't exist back then. It was just they were fighting and fighting.
Fuck,
And
Hal
eventually
Jordan would
the
hate that.
created this what
Hal
was that?
Jordan would hate that.
And then like the Aspirants created the Godkiller Mark I armor, which was so powerful that it nearly drove that race of Celestials to extinction. But eventually, like, it was scrapped to make weaponry, and the Celestials were able to exploit that and win the war, essentially. But that war in the process shattered the first firmament, and from those, you know, shattered pieces, we got entire multiverses and omniverses. They formed into eternity and all other iterations of creation, basically. And that is really impressive because, like I said before with the Lucifer example, in this case, the first firmament is a universe, but the universe is so big that it's bigger than entire multiverses. It's bigger than like infinite multiverses, infinite megaverses, I guess. It's bigger than like eternity, who represents like all of the omniverse essentially. And this is really impressive because eternity has like planes like the superflow in him, and like otherworld and overspace. All of that is within the eighth cosmos that is eternity, and those planes are like the sphere of the gods in DC, and like, you know, planes above that, like gutter space, Gwenpool's gutter space, which is also like really high up there. That's like also within eternity.
Well, that's the one people say is
Except
beyond
views-
Marvel.
It's not really beyond Marvel. It's just like it like views the multiverse as comic panels, and she can like jump between universes and realities because they're basically fiction to her. But even then, she's like nothing compared to beings like the Living Tribunal or, you know, eternity. So yeah, that's pretty good. And yes, that is a really powerful armor that would wipe if, I don't know, to say the least, if Tony could access that armor, no one that has been on Death Battle so far could beat him. However, he can't pilot the armor. Like, that was made by aspirants. It can only be accessed by certain people, and Tony is not one of them, meaning it is completely irrelevant in this fight. However, because of that, Tony did build his own Godkiller, which was Godkiller Mark II, which is unfortunately nowhere as impressive, but it is still good in that it could fight a celestial, like a dark celestial, and it did eventually get overpowered, as most buster suits do, pretty quickly too, but like eventually Tony just like took it into space and blew it up, which was, I mean, it most likely did kill a couple celestials, but at the very least it did some significant damage to the point we didn't see them again, like in the next couple issues. So yeah, that was good, and that was really like impressive because these celestials were so powerful that the original Avengers team that existed like a million years ago, like even beyond that, couldn't hurt them. And obviously, like, I mean, I'll just say the roster, it consisted of Odin, Lady Phoenix, Black Panther, I think like the first Black Panther, Agamotto, who's like the first Sorcerer Supreme, Ghost Rider, presumably Zarathos, Iron Fist, and Starbrand. And yeah, I might as well get into their scaling because it's really good.
They're Megaton level.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that part. Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, they're only Megaton level.
Echo does not like that part.
Outside of Iron Fist and Black Panther, I believe all of them are Skyfather or Abstract, besides Black Panther and Iron Fist. And I believe that version of Iron Fist did like punch an Infinity Stone. So like she didn't scale to it, but like she was still more powerful than Daniel from what we know.
So
as for that Black Panther, T'Challa, at least I don't know. I don't think he is. Yeah. So they were more powerful than like any other Avengers roster by far, at least from what I know. I think like in Hickman's run there might have been one that's more powerful because it had like characters like Captain Universe and their own star brand, but you know, that's not relevant to this. As for the scaling of these incredible characters, who should I start off with? I don't know.
Well, Odin.
Odin?
You balled us earlier.
We'll start with Big Odin.
Okay, so everyone knows who Odin is. Odin is Thor's dad. He is the king of Asgard, or he was. He no longer is. That is Thor's the current king of Asgard.
Give it a couple of years. Odin's going to come back as king of Asgard again. Thor's going to go back to
probably
just like regular.
But
Herald.
basically, Odin is a really weird character to get into, as most Marvel and DC gods are, because just like Darkseid, he has these weird shenanigans back in his lore where it's like Odin created his own mythology, but like he has his own dad who like also created his own mythology. So like,
yeah, bore, right?
What is it? Like conflicting myths. But like either way, we know Odin, he transcends space and time. They're nothing to his power. Asgard transcends space and time. It like completely exists beyond the mortal plane of reality. It has been stated in guidebooks that Odin could easily end and create entire multiverses. Guidebooks aren't generally reliable, especially the Marvel ones, because these are also the same guidebooks that said that Odin cannot travel through time, which is not true, because in, I believe it was the Cosmic Ghost Rider run, it was stated that Odin has the power to send anyone through time or space, which doesn't even need to be said because he exists completely beyond it.
Don't Marvel guidebooks like say Hulk? Oh, he can lift over 100 tons, as if that's impressive.
Yeah, they do. So Odin and Zeus, who's another Skyfather, like equal to Odin in power, or at least relative, they were able to shake this thing called the Infinite Embassy, which was a place created by the Living Tribunal that exists above all planes of reality as this point where all gods and hell lords like Mephisto they can go to without like fighting each other. I guess they disobeyed the living tribunal and they fought, and it shook all of creation. Amazing.
Nice.
Odin, while weakened to like think like a mortal, he was fighting Seth, who could rip Yggdrasil out by its roots and like threaten every plane of reality, and there's like an infinite number of said planes. This is really impressive because each plane contains its like own set of infinite universes and like different spatial dimensions. So like infinite planes could like, you could argue it equates to like infinite spatial dimensions. But even if you don't, that's like multiversal plus at the absolute least. And Marvel's definition of multiversal plus gets way higher into like transfinite numbers, which aren't really like necessary in this one. But yeah, overall it's just really good because Odin can also fight other Skyfathers like Mephisto, who can also threaten infinite planes. Odin is actually more powerful than Hela, who is shown as a rival to Mephisto, and Mephisto has his own multiversal plus and higher end feats. You can also scale Odin to the likes of Dormammu, who has his own multiversal plus and higher feats. He's even stated to be like a 6 or 7 dimensional character, and you can scale them way higher than that with other feats. Let's see, what else does Odin have? Oh, okay, so Odin's rival, the biggest rival of all time, his name is Surtur, and he basically lit Yggdrasil on fire. Like, Surtur's flame was gonna burn down the world tree, and Yggdrasil has at the absolute least 10 realms, or like Asgard's Yggdrasil has 10 realms, and each of these realms are their own universes, which has been stated several times before. But either way, Yggdrasil is just way more than Asgard. Like, we mostly see it with Asgard lore, but like we've seen it in like Immortal Hulk before. We've seen it with like other like Greek and Hindu mythology. It like exists across everything in Marvel. So obviously Surtur's not just gonna burn down the Asgardian stuff. And we know that for sure because not only was he burning all of Yggdrasil, but like the flame was gonna spread up to Otherworld, which is, I guess, to put it lightly, it is a plane that transcends all of creation, in that creation or like eternity sits as a chess piece when looked upon in Otherworld. It's basically like the sphere of the gods, but like in Marvel, and just like one of those other planes where all of these characters can just sit and like view into creation. And Surtur was going to burn that down, and therefore everything else, as in the entire multiverse and other multiverses and all of that. Odin was able to put out this fire. Granted, it didn't hit Otherworld yet. It was like reaching there, so obviously Odin wouldn't like, at least by that feat, he wouldn't scale to like outerversal stuff by that feat alone, but it's still impressive because it's a lot more than multiversal plus.
Is this where you get into his telepathy now?
Odin's telepathy, I guess this is like, it's not like something the Godkiller scales to, but it is like, he was able to fight Galactus telepathically, and when that failed, because like both of them were like basically equals, like
just headbutt him.
Odin, yeah,
right?
he headbutted Galactus and knocked him out.
In my
Like,
very
he just
first,
straight
in my first versus episode of Not Death Battle, which involved Galactus, I actually brought that up. Funnily enough, that's not relevant. I just wanted to say it.
Yeah, he headbutted Galactus, and yeah, that's super OP. And I guess in terms of telepathy, not many characters can match Galactus. Like, I think the only characters I've seen besides Odin that have directly engaged Galactus successfully in a telepathic fight was Silver Surfer, and I believe Thanos tried. It didn't work out too well for him. I mean, like, it was like sort of good, not completely. But yeah, I think Silver
Galactus
Surfer
blocked out like Oblivion, right?
Oh yeah, he blocked out Oblivion.
Big
That was
scary
great.
man who threatens the reader and can't do shit to me.
Mhm. Oblivion is basically the entity that like existed before all of creation, and like after creation ends, he's like the void that existed before everything, like eternity, the living tribunal, the beyonder. He existed before all of them, and he will exist after all of them fade.
That just makes him sound like Death of the Endless, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it does. But however, I will say this: a lot of people like to bring this up. Oblivion is not stronger than the one above all. He is not stronger than the one below all. He is not stronger than. Yeah, he's not stronger than a lot of characters. The only one above all he's stronger than is the Celestial.
Yeah. Speaking of Celestials and scaling, who's after Odin you want to talk about that in relation to all this?
I think Phoenix.
Lady Phoenix.
I think after Phoenix, like, you can... Yeah.
Phoenix, Lady Phoenix. Oh yeah, more sex scaling. I'm sorry, but
Oh, fuck.
Based.
one of her feats, I believe, was Odin and Lady Phoenix knew that if they like engaged the Celestials head on, that they would die. Right? So do you want to know what Odin said?
What did he say?
Once everything is gone, once all of creation is done for, when we're in the empty void, I will make love to you in the ashes of infinity for 1 billion years.
Oh my goodness gracious.
And we will
It's time
we will
for a
build
dramatic
creation
reading.
again.
And
Yeah.
then, once it's all been laid to waste, my spirit will find yours in the void, my lady, and make love to you in the ashes of infinity for 1 billion years. And we will build creation again, you and I, with a fuck.
That last bit was my own.
A fine idea, my dear Asgardian.
I thought he could create
Dang,
his
bro.
own... Hold on, if he can create his own multiverse on his own, is he just a horny bastard? He doesn't
In
actually need
mythology,
her?
dude.
He doesn't actually
Yeah.
need her.
You're a
He's just
fiend,
horny.
Odin. Oh my gosh. He can create his own mythology, but he can't just spare some time to like bring back all of creation. Oh my gosh.
No, I could make it all again, but I really want to fuck. God damn
That's
it.
Odin for you.
Wow.
He comes off more as a Greek
Now we
god in
just
this.
need
Yeah. So Lady
Odin versus Swamp Thing.
I
Battle
feel like,
of the Sex Deviants.
I feel like full power Swamp Thing would be
Battle
in
of the
that one.
higher dimensional sex deviants, might I add.
Yeah. Anyways, besides the Phoenix Force being weird and doing a lot of things, it is stronger than Odin. It's stronger than King Thor, like Donny Cates' King Thor, who's stronger than Odin. I think it's not explained chronologically if Thor had the power cosmic at the time he fought the Phoenix Force, who apparently is his mother. So Odin and Lady Phoenix did end up doing something because Thor is apparently their son, because that was a retcon, the
I
stupidest
thought you
retcon
said
ever.
Thor was born from Gaia's conceptual vagina.
That is how it was originally, and then that got retconned, so now he's born from Lady Phoenix's.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, yeah, basically, regardless, with the power cosmic, Thor was amped to the point where he was stronger than Galactus. Like, he went from Odin Force, I'm weaker than Galactus, to, ooh, I have Galactus's power, and therefore
What level of
stronger than
Galactus?
Galactus.
Because like Galactus.
And do you
does
want to know what makes
fluctuate.
this? And do you want to know what makes this even more hilarious?
What?
This was written by Donny Cates, and another story called Thanos Wins, that was also written by Donny Cates. Silver Surfer is like one of the last guys in creation. He gets Mjolnir and then becomes stronger than Galactus, because like he's able to fight King Thanos, who one-shot Galactus. It's really weird.
Okay, but
Donny Cates.
what state was Galactus in? Was it like well fed or like hungry?
I think
They didn't really
Galactus.
specify, did
I
they?
think Galactus prepped for like several hundred years and then got this really giant gun thing and then like charged Thanos and then got decapitated in one hit.
Wait, this
Why
was
did he bring a
Cates.
gun when
Wasn't
he's
this
got the
like...
ultimate nullifier?
I feel like Galactus was probably much weaker in this one because, like, wasn't he, like, running away from, like, the Black Winter, which, like, apparently just destroyed his universe?
Oh, yeah. The
Like-
Black Winter is not, the Black Winter, by Kate's own retcon, didn't destroy a universe, but it destroyed the previous iteration of Eternity.
Of course.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense, you're saying. Okay.
No, I meant it meant more sense that, like, Galactus wouldn't get, like, scared of, like, just a universal
Yeah,
wave
that-
of death, but, like,
That's true.
if it was, like,
No.
Unless he
It
like,
was implied
super
that-
hungry.
The Black Winter entering reality was so, like, dangerous that, like, Yggdrasil started to passively die out. And, like, it started to, like, rot away and got, like, cosmic necrosis.
Akil, how do you passively die? Isn't that just what everyone's doing at every point in time? Passively dying?
Yeah, but, like, Yggdrasil was healthy one moment, and then, like, it had, like, a cosmic heart attack, and it, like, turned black and started turning into ash. I don't know. Okay. You know what? That's really good, because Yggdrasil, guess what? Like everything else in this video, also has a true form, which is beyond all of everything.
Yeah, everything except
it's like-
Batman and Iron Man themselves has a true form.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is...
Yeah, it's
How did we get
beyond oblivion, but like, you know what? We'll just stop there, because Yggdrasil, no one scales to true form Yggdrasil except for like the one below all. So, yeah,
Yeah.
amazing.
So should we get into, like, I guess the actual nitty-gritty debates of it? Because,
Yeah.
like, obviously you've got, like, Zarathos and Starbrand left, but, like, those ones could be summed up a lot
I don't think
more.
Zarathos needs to be talked about. Everyone's aware that he's really fucking strong.
I will talk about
Threat to the Avengers, threat to Mephisto.
I
all
will
that
go
shit.
over Agamotto and Starbrand because not many people know them. But for
Alright.
Agamotto, he is the first Sorcerer Supreme, and he's stronger than Doctor Strange to the point he can fight Galactus evenly. And he's like a non-corporeal being who's like
He's
exists
kind of thick.
as like this entity that
Look
can
at this Nemesis.
shapeshift. He like takes form because he transcends it.
Oh, what? That's
And-
Agamotto?
Yeah, Agamotto
I thought he was
can...
some weird
Agam-
old guy. What the fuck?
Okay, no, Agamotto has appeared as a caterpillar-looking creature like Mr. Mind from DC. He's appeared as a tiger, I believe.
Thought of
And,
that.
like,
Agamotto versus Mr. Mind? That sounds cool for some reason.
Agamotto versus the fucking thing from Alice in Wonderland. That's what I'm thinking of right now, looking at that.
Dude, look at
I
this.
guess
What a
Agamotto.
cutie. Alright, continue.
And then
I
I'm just
pictured him
gonna
more like a
Starbrand.
Phoenix Faust looking guy, not that.
Starbrand is a bit more interesting. Starbrand, at the very least, can like destroy entire universes without a problem. And the power of the Starbrand can crack open the Superflow, which I'm just gonna say it's like Marvel's version of the Bleed, but also combined with Marvel's version of the Sphere of the Gods. Just like it doesn't differentiate the Bleed, not the Bleed, the Superflow bleeds into reality and like exists between universes. It like separates universes from each other. It separates multiverses from each other, but it also exists beyond all of it, and just like as this conceptual space where the true forms of abstracts can like fight without damaging normal space because they're in a higher plane. And it supposedly contains other realms that are layered infinitely.
Which star
But that's
brand
the
is
Superflow.
Because like there's multiple star brands.
Yeah. Just like, yeah. But this old star brand can like do a lot. I mean, he can fight Celestials, obviously.
Is it like the
And
big,
Kevin
the big
Conner-
red, like which star brand is it? Like appearance wise, I want to know so I can show
It's
the
like
right one.
caveman. It's a caveman star
Is it the
brand.
big red
who,
one?
Yeah, the big red one.
It's just Red Hulk.
That's not Red Hulk. That's this caveman guy.
No,
that was, like-
no, that's just star brand Red Hulk, isn't it? Look at it.
It looks like
What the
Red
heck,
Hulk,
man?
but it was like this blonde,
Lois?
gay caveman that existed before.
Blind gay caveman?
And then
he
he
was
turned
Did I get that
literally.
right?
Then he turned into Red Hulk Maestro.
That's what he looks like. No, basically, there was this caveman who was like, who had a boyfriend, and then like, this thing from space hit him, and
Wow.
he turned into this Red Hulk looking guy. That's his
Wow.
story. Yeah.
Imagine just
I
like
think
being
at
a
first hit a
caveman,
dinosaur.
and then you get hit by a rock, and suddenly you're out of Versal.
That's basically his story. But yeah. That is Starband.
Okay, Akio, now explain to all the boys and girls out there why any of this applies to Tony and Godkiller. I'm not saying you're wrong, but
Mhm.
we must rope it all together so we can get to the debating.
Yes. Because, well, I mean, okay, so basically all of them combined, they could only kill a Celestial that was, like, depressed over the loss of her boyfriend to a cosmic plague.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, there was this one Celestial that, like, landed on Earth because it was dying of this disease thingy that was, like, corrupting it. And it, like, died and, like, bled into Earth and, like, vomited into the planet, and that would, like, create the superheroes, right? And that happened a long time ago. So that Celestial's girlfriend... Okay, I don't even know if I should call the Celestial's girlfriend a girlfriend, because... I don't know their genders, because
I don't think
apparently
sex
they're
applies to
beyond
them.
Female Celestials Marvel.
Oh no, don't look that up. You're gonna find something raunchy.
Okay, regardless,
What the...
that Celestial's lover was depressed and came
Does it
to
look
Earth.
anything like this?
Oh dear goodness. What's about to be posted? What even is that?
That one
What?
looks kind of
Looks like
defined
looks like an
in a
Ultron
bad
Celestial.
way.
That's what it looks like. No, it looks like God
It's like a
Brainiac.
steampunk Celestial.
Yeah.
It looks like Brainiac's.
Okay.
God
When you
form.
don't zoom in on it, it does look like Ultron's head.
Yeah. Anyways, the Celestial's lover was like depressed and sad and came to Earth to look for their lover who was dead. And so while that lover Celestial was grieving, Odin and Lady Phoenix and the spirit of Vengeance and Starbrand and Black Panther, they all attacked that poor Celestial and beat it up.
Why?
I don't know.
That's horrible.
I think it was threatened. So basically, since there were two missing Celestials, the entire horde came because they were like, why are all of our like allies just like disappearing? And they like, and then like, they like saw how the Avengers, the old Skyfather Avengers beat up their like other ally peer Celestial, and they like waged a war on them, and yeah, all of them were screwed. Even Lady Phoenix and Odin, they literally couldn't do anything,
Right,
and they were all like beaten.
I don't think I've got these scans.
I think they're all here. They were all overpowered, and they were all just like they lost.
That's just
And
sad.
because of
Wow.
that, like, and then that lover Celestial got also like that. I believe that lover Celestial got infected, got that cosmic STD thingy, and then like spread it to the other Celestials, and now
So what,
they all turn into the Dark Celestials.
So we got a cosmic STD and decided to fuck all the Celestials. We're uncovering so many sex-related
we don't-
feats here.
We
Jeez,
don't know
bruh.
how the virus spread. We shouldn't judge the
This is
poor
like
Celestials.
this is like
so
an
thank you so much.
out-of-versal STD. This is like the platonic,
Dude,
the
you should
platonic
just
concept
read Tyler's
from
video
which
to
all
like.
STD, Marvel, DC, sex scaling revealed.
You should put the category in this video to like education.
I also like how we've uncovered Odin. Not only is Odin so horny that he will lie about his abilities just to get a fuck with someone, but he'll also attack somebody who's grieving just because I guess they're really big in metal. So he's
Wow.
racist and a sex criminal. That's the name for them. What a
Yeah.
Odin's got
deviant.
like a track record, man. Like,
God, he really mellowed out.
And you want to know what makes Odin? Well, and I mean, like even after all this, Odin is like a saint compared to Zeus. So, yeah,
Which is ironic because he's acting a lot like mythological Zeus right now.
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like, wait, like, what is Marvel's? Okay, because like Odin, like he literally wiped out an entire race that was so pissed at Odin, they turned into a physical manifestation of
Mangog,
all their
right?
hate combined.
Man,
It's a Mangog, bro.
Mangog, Mangog,
So-
Mangog.
So yeah, he's probably a bit of a bully.
neither of them are good gods. I think like
They're
the good god.
assholes.
Yeah, good is like,
Odin's a fucking
what is
cunt,
Marvel's
mate.
just done that's been like
And the
so
worst
bad?
part is like Odin back then was like a really good parent, but like now he's like super abusive towards like Thor. I mean, like
Why?
I think Kate's is gonna like fix that, but like when Jason Aaron wrote him, Thor like I mean, when Thor was a baby, you know, like babies cry, right? Odin got so mad at Thor crying that he literally threw him outside the castle because he was crying and like it wouldn't stop raining. And it turns out like he thought like Thor would cry whenever there was like a storm outside, and he's like,
The opposite
no
there.
son of mine shall be a coward, and like threw him out because of that. But like it turns out Thor wasn't crying because of the storm, but like Thor crying caused the storm.
Yeah, because he's Thor. I'm just picturing.
Yeah.
Dude,
you
oh my
know-
gosh, looking into it, Zeus is sexist, dude.
I'm imagining like the spires from the MCU version of Asgard, and just like a wide shot, and this little baby just flying out the side of the speed of light and bouncing off another. Just. That's
Yeah.
Odin with Thor.
Dude, Marvel Zeus's base, dude. Look, he showed his true form to a woman, and she just died on the spot.
Oh, now we got some dick scaling. Wonderful.
Dude, he literally like created a woman for his son Hercules, and then just like wiped her away just to toy with him. It's so funny.
Oh yeah, Marvel
Space
Zeus
Zeus.
is also a hypocrite because like in an alternate universe, Hercules was like dating Wolverine, and Zeus got super pissed because like he's like, my son shall not date a mortal, and well, you know what Zeus does.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
shows his true form dick.
And he kills people.
This is
Alright.
terrible.
This reminds me of
That's
Trigon and like Raven's mom.
Baby's mine.
I don't know why.
Oh my god, Trigon versus Zeus.
Trigon versus Zeus.
Screw Dormammu, he's a better parent than Zeus.
Dormammu. Is Dormammu?
Your mom's got like.
Is he a
just-
better parent than
Oh right, Dormammu does have a child.
Yeah.
Dwayne Dormammu. I think his name is Dwayne.
Isn't it Doyle?
Oh yeah, Doyle. I don't know why. Dwayne. Yeah,
You just got
Doyle
corrected.
Dormammu.
You just got corrected by me on something Marvel related. How's that feel?
Okay,
Wow.
I don't remember the names of Dormammu's offspring. So
Yeah, it's like Doyle and isn't Satanish his son?
Bro, this
is
video is gonna be like so much longer than Simon versus
Yeah.
Kyle. It's not even funny.
Like, you know,
Mhm.
isn't it like Satan is like the green guy with the mouth, face, stomach? Isn't he like Dormammu's child as well?
maybe. I don't know. Or Satanish.
Maybe.
He's kind of
No,
evil, a bit
he's not like
Satan-ish. We were talking about characters whose name is just a description. Satan-ish is also that. Like, it's an actual
yeah,
name, but
and,
it's just, oh, he's Satan-ish.
Oh, and we don't know for sure, but it's possible that Dormammu is into incest.
Okay, so,
Yeah.
the last thing we have to talk about before the debates is the Infinity Gauntlet and the Omniversal Bullet.
Yes.
Do this.
So,
You start with the Infinity Gauntlet.
I'll just start off with the Infinity Gauntlet because, like, everyone should know what it is by now. If you clicked on this video, you probably know what it is, because if you're
Admittedly,
into Iron Man, you probably watched Endgame, and basically, the Infinity Gauntlet is a gauntlet made up of 6 stones, time, space, power, reality, soul, and mind, and they basically grant you like complete sovereignty over the concept that they control. And I mean, with it, your imagination is really the only limit. Because, like, obviously, someone might say, ooh, how about the fact that they don't work outside their own universe? But technically, you can bypass it if you have enough will and creativity, not through like sheer power, but like Thanos has created avatars that can like enter other universes with it. So, you can do that. And Tony has used it to BFR the Hood. He can warp reality. He can mess with time and, stuff like that. Like, Thanos used it to, like, create clones. I'm not going to go over, like, the super big feats, because I don't know if Tony can replicate them. But in terms of hacks, he should be able to, like, replicate some of them. So, like, Doctor Doom was able to create life from, like, absolute nothingness. Like, there was just a void where that universe used to be. And, like, he was able to, like, recreate that entire universe. And, like, he created the concepts of science and magic. And, like, he manipulated, like, he set rules. He created law. He, like, made physics and chemistry and literally everything, including magic and the laws of sorcery and stuff like that. So conceptual manipulation, life manipulation, teleportation. You can, like, make yourself the universe if you really want. You can use telepathy and resist basically any power that I have listed right now.
It's
So,
got a lot it
with
can
it-
do. You've already explained it
Yeah.
better than Death Battle did.
Yeah. So basically, he can do a lot. And I guess now we're on to the Omniversal Bullet.
Which is the one that I know very little about.
This is the one I've been waiting for this moment. No, I haven't. Who am I kidding? Okay, so the Omniversal Wormhole Bullet. So this was the bullet that Batman used as a contingency that he gave to John Stewart. It was basically used in reserve to, I guess, make sure the totality does not completely leak into the multiverse. It's so I think people obviously like the wording of the thing is like really really stupid. Omniversal Wormhole Bullet, like, okay, for reference, an omniverse can mean literally just a multiverse. Like, it's not like this grand huge thing outside of multiverses. So and obviously this Omniversal Wormhole Bullet, it's not like a bullet that like directly attacks you or shoots you. Obviously it's a bullet, it's gonna hurt, but like its main abilities are like it can teleport and remove someone from the battlefield to a huge extent, and it can teleport you to the totality, a weapon composed of energy made from the source wall, which is in itself beyond the source wall, and it causes destruction. It can't destroy the source wall. It essentially teleports the energy of the source wall beyond the source wall, and technically it's a one and done. It causes the destruction of the bullet and just destroys the totality itself. So, yeah, I hope you now. Does that explain enough, Nemesis?
Yeah. It is a...
You don't sound so sure.
It is
And an important
a
note
BFR
is that-
bullet,
Yeah.
is what I got from that.
Like,
In
basically
terms of-
that and...
Yeah. In terms of source wall, it's like the true source wall, because like the source wall, just like the super float mentioned earlier,
Has a
it
true
like
form.
emanates into lower realities and like bleeds into like lower planes.
So yeah, it's
So-
got a true form.
Yeah.
It's just
A
an
lot of
armada of
emanations.
walls.
Yeah, that and the Archetypal Bullet, like, neither of them, they're one and done. You can't use them again, so, frankly, we just mention them because we think it's really funny, even though it's conceptually really stupid. But we
Yeah.
thought mentioning it anyways would just be, you know,
I mean, Batman
Fun
obviously
to
won't
talk
get
about.
the archetypal bullet.
no, he
Like,
won't. Or the Omniversal Wormhole
yeah.
Bullet. Now we actually debate who wins between these two.
So obviously, like we said,
And,
in base form, it's a very easy Iron Man wash. He just
yeah,
well,
you've
like,
got
even Mark
freaking town
one.
level and you got town level and relic speed versus picosecond reactions and like at a lowest constant level.
With his extremis and like bleeding edge armors, he should scale to like at least universal level.
Yeah, and
Phoenix.
those
And
are
that-
fairly standard for him because he can just like call
Yeah.
them in.
Yeah.
Like, there you go. Now he's
So
a
I guess
herald.
we can debate. We can probably debate certain armors, like I guess matchups based on like their power levels. So I guess
Help.
let's start with like Hulkbuster versus the Justice Buster. Let's see.
I would say
Um,
Mark II kind of like kills him.
Yeah.
Like the Justice Buster just like
But
dies.
then Mark 1, I assume Mark 1 loses, but it's not like that
like,
big of a
would it
loss.
though? Because like the Justice Buster's only notable scaling is that it took one hit from a Joker Venom weakened Superman, and it gets crippled from a building falling on it. Like a building falling on it damages a bunch of
right.
its systems, and then Superman like tears it apart with ease.
And then wasn't like Hulkbuster Mark 1, wasn't that like it just got one shot by Hulk and that's it?
I don't think so. I think it went up against Professor Hulk, from what I remember. And did pretty well. And Professor
Who's like
Hulk,
stronger than Savage Hulk, right?
he should like be relative. Like maybe he can be slightly weaker.
Okay, then yeah, never mind. Hulkbuster.
Yeah,
kind of
there might.
bogus.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a time where the Mark 1 might have been one shot, but like the Mark 1's appeared a lot more than the Justice Buster. Like the Hulkbuster is not a one and done suit that appeared once and then never again.
And then let's see. How about like the Insider suit versus the Uru armor or the Endosym?
Okay, so the Uru armor is basically the bleeding edge just with like Odin's enchantment and Uru.
I think either
So-
way, Batman probably loses. Like the Insider is basically like it's Herald, but it's like a super duper nerfed Herald. Like it's basically just mimicking weaker abilities from the league. I don't think. I mean, I guess the energy absorption could be useful, but
I think like Hell's Ring would be like its most powerful ability to like use.
I feel with the Euro, it's just like, I guess like in essence, Euro itself is like super duper powerful. So like, I just see it overpowering. And then Endosym obviously is just probably much faster and stronger.
Is this energy
In
absorption
terms of
better?
Endosym is stronger than Hulkbuster Mark II because like it can like turn into its own Hulkbuster that's
Oh,
stronger
right.
than that one. So like to a degree you can scale Endosym to like Green Scar Hulk, like suppressed Green Scar.
And then, let's see. How would you say the Mobius Chair Batman stacks up against Hulk or Thorbuster? I
He
feel
should
like-
wash. Yeah, he would wash. Like just
Bruce would win?
yeah. I mean like I think Bruce would be outstatted, but like
But his hacks is like,
Hulkbuster and Thorbuster have no counters to like time manipulation. Or like I mean, you can argue that Thorbuster can. Or like depending on how you argue speed, that you can argue they can like move in frozen time, but like they have no counters to like being dropped back in time at like the Big Bang or something.
yeah, boom tubes can like act as BFR or battlefield removal.
So what if
Yeah.
he
Let's
sent? What if he
see.
sent them back to the first firmament's death?
Wow. Okay.
I'm pretty sure Null and the Celestials were the only people that like were there, and they...
Freaking
Yeah,
Noel
that
was just like falling, and then he just like cuts off a Celestial's head. Bully.
What about
Null was
Okay, let's see.
what about the
firmament
Phoenixbuster?
exploded.
Would the Phoenixbuster
Alright, let's see,
be able
let's-
to take the Mobius chair?
See, with Hulk, Phoenixbuster, it's like it had a one and done attack, and that's it. So like, if it hits Mobius Batman, would it die? Would Batman die? I mean, probably, but like, other
Tony
than
would as
that,
well.
the suit didn't do basically anything. So like, I'm just wondering, like, let's say like the I guess the attack misses. Like, is that it for Phoenixbuster pretty much? Because like, I don't think we've never seen it do anything else other than just shoot the Phoenix into 5 pieces.
It hurt the Phoenix to a good degree, so I would say like it should be able to
Probably
break
down. You could
But
probably
with the-
down him, but like, would it could he dodge it? I guess is a good question.
Yeah, he could like boom tube away. Probably.
Yeah, I could, because like after that, like Phoenixbuster's kind of useless unless like he can use that attack over and over again.
Hmm.
I
I'm
assume
pretty sure
the Infinity
like-
Gauntlet would take out the Mobius Chair though.
Yep, easily.
Yeah, it would.
Infinity Gauntlet kind of washes like
Yeah.
everything here.
I don't think they're gonna give Tony the Infinity Gauntlet though. So
They definitely won't.
Yeah.
Like that's no,
Yeah.
that's not even a debate. Unless
think-
they like, I mean, if they still think that it only has universal range, then like maybe, but I doubt they do anymore.
I doubt
So-
that. Like they might say it if they were to use it, but I don't think they would actually think that behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
then let's see.
yeah. Oh, actually, no. What is the next one? I guess this is.
Hellbat. This is where we get to like the bigger armors. Hellbat versus like Endosym, Thorbuster. Okay. I feel like Hellbat could probably take down Hulk and Thorbuster.
Probably.
Probably Phoenixbuster. It's one of those like one and
I don't
done
know if I
attacks.
could pick on Buster. Phoenixbuster can like. It can break the Phoenix Force into 5 parts, and that's like.
No,
Still-
yeah, no, I agree. Like it's like it has like one shotting ability, but it's just like other than that, it has nothing else. So
Which
it's
is
kind of hard
faster.
to stack it up.
Like in overall
Mm.
stats, who's faster in this case?
In which one? Like,
In Hellbat versus Phoenixbuster.
I don't think
Oh.
it's. I think Phoenixbuster is a bit hard to determine in terms of.
Yeah, because
speed.
like, yeah, that's my problem. It's just like besides like the one feat of like splitting the Phoenix 5, we don't see it do anything else really.
I
Like
would say
it was like stationary too when it hit the Phoenix. It wasn't like moving or anything. Like he just shot it and that's it.
Oh, Phoenix is an
It's,
idiot.
it is really.
Could've just moved.
It's AP. Yeah. I don't know.
I assume with his AP, it's like stupidly high into like I assume it's like at the very least multi plus, if
It
not
is.
higher.
Yeah. I
But
think
like
that'd be on.
I feel like you could probably argue Hellbat's overall faster because like I mean keeping up with Darkseid's pretty good. Like you can't lie.
I won't
like-
say about Phoenixbuster, but compared to Endosym, it probably is slightly faster. I mean, I guess if we were to go over speeds, for Marvel, I would say Endosym should probably scale to Thor crossing the universe in a couple seconds. And I mean,
And for
obviously,
Hellbat-
Marvel. Yeah.
Oh my god, this is another chance for Thor to be brought up and get even faster in the death battle. Dude, oh my god,
gosh.
I
You just realized.
I am
That's
now
funny.
hyped. I need to see Thor get even faster than last time.
He needs his redemption arc with Mjolnir calcs.
Just like oh, now we're scaling Thor to fucking Loki.
Okay.
And the thing
So
or
I guess for
Valkyrie.
Hellbat's side, I'm pretty sure you can scale Hellbat to Hal and Guy crossing the universe in less than a day. If you take into account the 150 trillion light year statement, then you get a cruising speed, mind you, of like 87.6 quadrillion times faster
And
than
that's
light.
like super low end for Hell.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
and, like you could, because like Guy of the 4 Earth Lancers, Guy's definitely the weakest, but he's not like like 100 million times weaker. But
Wait.
like Guy's still just
Is
generally
that like
speaking,
even
not the
weaker than?
strongest.
Is he like weaker than like Simon Baz as well? And Jessica
No,
Cruz?
he's definitely Simon is nah. Simon's probably
Like
one of the
how would you
weakest.
scale?
Guy's definitely
like Hal, Kyle, Guy.
okay. I'd say
Baz,
Hal first,
Cruz,
Kyle second. Alright.
and Stewart.
Hal's first, Kyle second, John
John.
third, Guy fourth, Kilowog fifth. I feel like Guy and Kilowog are like relative,
Interchange.
and then Jessica, and then Simon,
Hmm.
Where's Alan?
and then you have
Scott?
Alan Scott, who could be anywhere.
Yeah.
I feel like Alan's probably like either up to par with Hal or like in between Hal and Kyle. But yeah, I digress.
Yeah.
Would Mogo
So
be number
overall,
3?
I would say Hellbat is probably faster than even Phoenixbuster, just because we don't see it. Although,
I mean,
it's so difficult. Because I mean, I guess hypothetically you could like upscale it in speed from like Endosym, which like should either way be massively faster than light, but it's also like it's kind of hard to argue when
It just sits there, right?
and I'm
yeah, it
gonna
just
like
sits there and shoots the Phoenix.
comment on that because like Marvel and DC both have so many statements of their universe being infinite that, like, at some point, Tony and Bruce are both just gonna, like, get faster than any quantifiable speed. And I think Endosym and Hellbat is a good line to draw that, where they are just, like, you can't quantify.
Yeah.
They are.
Me personally, I think that like Hellbat probably edges out against Endosym and Phoenixbuster, but then once Godkiller comes in,
Oh yeah,
obviously
this is where we
Hellbat's
get into the big one. Final
Yeah.
Batsuit versus Godkiller. Godkiller's much bigger, right? Like it's way bigger, from what I saw, right?
Thanks. Okay, wait. Let me check the size of a Final Batsuit. I think there was literally a scan that said like.
Because like the Godkiller
Okay,
looks
so
about the
this
size
is-
of a Celestial.
Yeah. Like, this is the size of, I guess, relative to the league. I mean, it's like a wide shot, I guess, so it's a bit difficult to tell, but
He should be bigger than it appears because they're closer to the
Mhm.
camera. But
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find a better shot.
um,
I look at a lot of kaiju stuff,
if-
so I can probably get an idea by
okay.
looking.
Let's see if I can find a shot for Tony.
Cause
Yeah, by the looks of it, if you look at like, yeah, Godkiller Mark II definitely bigger. Like, look at like in the left panel, the human. He's like relatively small compared to the Celestial. That's like,
Yeah.
that's. Is that
Um,
Ironheart? Okay.
if you look at the Final Batsuit
Yeah.
here, its head is a
Seems like
little
it's-
bit smaller than Hawkgirl. So like its head's the size of a bloke, but then the Godkiller, is
It's like the size of Celestials.
yeah,
like,
a bloke's the size of his eye, so its eye is about as big as the Final Batsuit's head. So the Godkiller's massive.
So yeah,
And the size
Godkiller's
of
got a
Celestials.
size advantage.
Yeah. Celestials can vary in size from, like, bigger than buildings by, like, a tiny bit to, like,
And then
bigger
like
than the entire
dwarfing like
universe.
planets and stuff. Doesn't
Yeah.
like function on like Galactus where like they are their sizes depend on what people in the area perceive them as. Like I think like it's a bit complicated, but like I think there was like the statement that like different races can view Galactus in like different visual
Yeah.
forms based on
Yeah.
how they're told about Galactus. Like there's been times where Galactus I think looked like a flat out monkey or something.
Like Galactus
Like,
doesn't
just
have a
based on,
physical
like, this-
body, right? He's like composed of energy.
Yeah.
So like he appears
Yeah.
to you the way you would.
Okay, so with Final Batsuit versus Godkiller, I guess who do we think is faster?
I imagine
Like, I feel like-
they're both at least immeasurable, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, but it's a hard question to ask like who is more into immeasurable, which you'd probably kind of have to lean Bruce because I mean Flashes and immeasurable are like you can't ignore them. Like they're
Like the
super
Flashes,
immeasurable.
they're like Blitz characters who are immeasurable, right?
Yeah, they're like objectively in my opinion like the pinnacle of like immeasurable speed tier or like irrelevant. Like they're just that fast to where like up to like a huge certain point in like the point where it's like they're at the top of the point where speed matters in a fight and they're just like their speed is just super detrimental. So
I
yeah,
guess-
I feel like
You-
Bruce would probably be faster by a hair.
I mean, yeah, but I do feel like this is an important point to bring up at this point since, like, we already went over DC's immeasurable feats. But in terms of where Marvel's immeasurable feats lie, they're achieved by one of these three characters, and those are Thor, Sentry, or Silver Surfer. And those three are on very different tiers. Like, if you were to just compare them side by side, they are, like, different in terms of where you place them. Like, Thor and Surfer are closer together, but, like, they're still, like, you can scale them a bit apart in terms of where you can, like, see them. And then, like, Sentry's just, like, a completely different story. But when you put those two together, Thor and Surfer have some pretty good and similar types of immeasurable speed feats. Like, Mjolnir has transcended the barrier between space and time, and it's like Loki has traveled to Asgard, which is beyond space and time, like seconds and microseconds and whatnot. So there's that too. And obviously, once you get to that point, Skyfathers are like even faster than those two. Like they can, like if they want to, they can blitz characters like Loki and Beta Ray Bill and other heralds that would scale to someone like Thor. And an example would be Silver Surfer post Annihilation. So for those of you that don't know, Silver Surfer is much stronger right now than he was when he was originally made, and that was due to an event that happened like over a decade ago. And he got like another amp from Galactus, just like a normal regular power cosmic amp. And now he can blitz characters who used to like evenly match him, like Beta Ray Bill and Thor and Loki. They were like equal in power with Surfer like a long time ago, and now they're like not anymore. I mean, I guess Loki and Thor are currently really overpowered as well, but like just in their base forms that you might normally think of when you think of Thor or Loki, they're not as powerful as Surfer is.
Well, so Loki's
right
also
now.
got like the crazy power that Thor's got right now, does he?
Loki has something called the God of Stories amp, and that's like where he can like control his own story and like walk through narrative.
Of course that's what it would be called. It couldn't be called something normal, like, I don't know, just the banana power. It's got to be the thingy of the stories, narrative walking.
Loki's stuff is like tied into a degree with like a deal he made with Then and Now, who are like people that like watch
okay,
over
okay.
House of
Speaking
Ideas.
of stupid names, Then Now,
Then Now.
prepare for the new brothers who are the embodiment of the concept of being a douchebag. Fuck and you.
So those guys are basically like characters who like live in the House of Ideas and manage the stories that exist there.
Oh my god.
Loki like made a deal with them. Like every superhero makes a deal with them, but like no one remembers it. I believe Loki does remember it because he's special. But basically his deal is that his stories will never end.
Wow.
And he's gonna live on in fame. And he got his God of Stories stuff before that, and now it's all confusing, but then like Kate's is like, oh yeah, you're still God of Stories, so yeah,
So
Loki
basically,
has that amp.
Loki's got so much hacks that the only way they could make him strong was giving him plot hacks.
Basically.
Alright. So, how does this
So who
basically
do we-
like, relate
okay, so
to
I guess-
Godkiller speed?
Godkiller, it should scale to Celestials who are above characters like Odin and Phoenix and Zarathos. It doesn't matter, like, between Odin and Zarathos and Phoenix and Starbrand. They all have immeasurable speed at the very least. They're so fast that at that point, the only way you can be faster is by, like, I don't know. Even then, you can easily argue Odin and Phoenix have, like, irrelevant speed. It doesn't really even matter at this point because, like, Godkiller is faster than them. And once more, Phoenix and, like, Starbrand and, like, Celestials, they all have, like, true forms, so it gets all confusing, but at that point, at a baseline, Tony should be faster than characters like Thor or Silver Surfer, even currently, which would mean that he would also be degrees into immeasurable speed, which was, like, one of the main arguments with, like, Wally and Sonic. It was like, oh yeah, Sonic has immeasurable speed, but so does Superman, and Wally can easily blitz him, so, like,
Wally is much faster than Archie Sonic.
Yeah.
Even in finite numbers. Like, in finite numbers, there's like an octodecillion calc for Wally, I think. While with Archie, it's like just an octillions calc.
Yeah. I remember, I think, like, Kingsley found, like, something for Transformers that was, like, only a little bit like, slower. Not
Yeah,
faster, slower.
in Transformers
Wally
Earth
was-
Wars, light speed, which is a misnomer, based on this, but also doesn't refer to it like his physical speed, it's processing speed. It, like, processes all these dimensions, in, like, a moment. And, you know, if you did use that you'd have... Well, I guess it would be consistent with Transformers scaling to Marvel then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
Alright, so who do we think overall is stronger between the two? I feel like that's another big question.
I feel like Godkiller would overpower Hellbat. Like, in
I mean,
terms
like
Final
against
Batsuit.
Final Batsuit.
We know that
Oh,
Godkiller would wash Hellbat, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Hellbat's kind of
Which
in
is
a
why
tight spot,
the,
but
the thumbnail for the episode they showed off with this Godkiller versus Hellbat was like, that's a bit of a mismatch,
this
guys.
is this is mildly concerning. Like, if there's no final, like I'm saying, like if there's no final Batsuit, like Bruce is flat out dead.
Yeah, because we know they're giving Iron Man the Godkiller based on the thumbnail. If they don't give him Final Batsuit, he's fucked. Would he even be able to win with the Mobius Chair against Godkiller?
Not like, I mean,
Probably not. I mean,
nah.
maybe, but probably not.
What about
With
the
the
bullets?
Godkiller, Tony is still weaker. Like, he's relative to a Celestial, but he would eventually lose. But, like, worst case scenario, he can detonate it and it would, like, kill several Celestials. So
So yeah, he could just
But
blow
I
it
feel
up.
like,
Mhm.
so I guess for the comparison, you compare Celestials that completely thrashed Odin and a gang of Skyfathers versus Final Batsuit trashing the Justice League. And the Justice League, like, I feel like for Superman it's a bit more weird to argue for, but like with Flash, like I think he's I guess a lower tier Skyfather in my opinion. Like I add like peak power, but like that's
Yeah,
besides
that's
the
valid.
point. Like,
Yeah, that's valid.
but like compare that to multiple Skyfathers, and it's kind of
Especially one like Odin.
it's not good. Like Odin would like wipe the Justice League out of existence as much as I hate to say it. So, I yeah,
at that
I
point,
feel like Godkiller is,
you'd only be able to argue Theta State Superman doing anything to Odin, I'd
which
imagine, right?
is kind of out of the equation. Yeah.
Yeah, Final
So,
Batsuit doesn't scale to Theta
overall-
State because it was below
And
just
no.
like a sun,
Godkiller
below a sun
is
dip Superman, right?
objectively, how much stronger would you say? I feel like Godkiller is stronger, but like by a huge amount, or like by a
In terms,
it's a it's a oof,
I mean,
it's a bad comparison.
it dep-
Justice League versus Celestials.
are you gonna
Good
scale Flash
comparison.
to like Multiversal Plus or like High Hyperversal? Or, like-
Well, the Flash here is Barry, where like, see, Barry's weird. Like, obviously he's no Wally, but like, I wouldn't put him at like millions of times weaker than Wally. Like, in Flash, they were pretty evenly matched, in my opinion. Like, they were fighting evenly, they were racing evenly until Wally barely pulled ahead.
I've seen a lot
like-
of like Barry and Wally in verses. Normally are basically the same, but Wally's a bit better, is what I've heard a lot.
Yeah, like Wally's got the better spiritual connection to Speed Force, because like people
Ironically.
argue. I myself I'm a bit funky on this myself, but some people have argued that like Wally is much higher than just complex multi, because he can use the Speed Force in an all-out one and done attack that like obviously is pretty huge if you consider the fact that the Speed Force is above the bleed, a countless dimensional structure. So, and I guess the question could be like, can Barry do this too? Well, probably. Like, I feel like you could make an argument that he's reached a point where he's probably not, because he has mental blocks way more compared to Wally, but it's like he's manipulated the Speed Force well enough to where it's a feasible argument.
But would you
That
scale
being
the
said,
Batsuit to
the
that?
Yeah, the Batsuit probably wouldn't scale to that, nor would it scale to Wally being able to do it, simply because like, like it's definitely like true that like the final Batsuit was holding back against the Justice League, but like you can argue in the same vein the Justice League would probably be holding back just as much to a degree, because like Flash has been explicitly stated that like he like constantly has to hold back because obviously he operates a lot in Central City. He doesn't want to basically ruin the universe just by running fast.
Yeah.
And like for the times he doesn't hold back, like he's insane. Like breaking the Speed Force barrier, stopping the Still Force, etc., etc. So it's something that the final Batsuit just wouldn't scale to. And even then, like if you do get Flash to that level of like, oh, you can use the Speed Force in a one and done attack, like I feel like that would either only barely scratch up to the Celestial tiers, or like not, or like only get a small step closer. Like I just don't see it overall being stronger.
Does a Final
So,
Batsuit scale below a Sun Dip Superman? Because like they had to get Superman to stop World Forger. Does that mean he's like weaker than a full power regular Superman?
I feel like he probably is.
that wasn't regular Superman. That was like Amp Superman.
And Mixie had like gave him all those 6-dimensional resistances.
It's
Yeah.
not even mixy. It was like there's like a lot more stuff that comes into factor at that point, like how DC cosmology works. Like, are those suns truly normal suns, or is it like did the
6D
story of
suns.
Superman help
Oh
Superman?
yeah, wait, didn't like the Final Batsuit like place those suns there in the 6th dimension, right? Like it was off screen, but like he did do it, I think.
Yeah, I believe he did. He like messed with them and like changed their placement
weird.
so they
I
were
feel
closer
like
to Superman.
that could be
How do
brought
you
up
do
as
it, though?
something that's impressive. But then I feel
But
like,
like
if you tried to be like, oh well, that means he scales to Mixie, the problem would be that all the Justice Leaguers would then probably scale too, which doesn't sound right.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So I feel like Batman's only saving grace at this point. I feel like he's probably a bit faster. Tony's stronger. So then you come to Hacks. Like, what can both of them do? Tony kind of falls short on Hacks with the God.
I didn't hear anything for Hacks with the Godkiller, really. It was all just
He needs
raw
Godbuster
power.
or Endosym for hacks. Not the Godkiller. The Godkiller doesn't have.
Yeah. But the Final Batsuit. See, yeah, this is where it gets a bit weird. So the Final Batsuit, like, it has like super insane mind hacks. Like, it can just, it can. I feel like Tony's in a state where like, and this is something I'm not aware of. Like, I feel like he's probably vulnerable to this because, here's the thing. It comes from the suit itself. Like, the Final Batsuit is like what rewrites it on a cellular level. Like, it's not Batman himself doing it. So, I feel like, let's say, okay, so let's say hypothetically Tony got his mind rewritten. There wasn't enough time to like, I guess, because there was that scan where he can like digitally copy his brain back into his consciousness. So I guess hypothetically, if he got his mind wiped, could Batman maybe barely slide in a win? Because the hard part is the God Killer is obviously not just more stronger, but also in turn more durable. So like, would it be enough though to like just grab a hold of God Killer and just beat it to
Throttle
death?
it.
Yeah, it's. I'm not sure.
Could he?
Cause like I feel like, would it be a one? I feel like it'd be a one shot. Like if God Killer hit him with a good hit, like he's out.
Yeah.
So
And
I
of course,
feel
if
like
the Godkiller self-destructed, that's the end as well for Batman.
oh, that is true.
Does Tony have like a way to like leave? Like he leaves it right before it blows up, and he like flies away.
Yeah.
I mean, I get.
My question is,
wouldn't
if,
he like?
if he tried that, would the Final Batsuit then just see him and just like clap him flying away, and then also get killed by the explosion? So like, both of them die.
I'm trying to think.
The problem
Can,
is like
like-
some of Tony's suits have like their own shields, which are also like super powerful. So
Would they be strong enough to take the Final Batsuit though?
Well, I mean, actually, wait. Wasn't like, didn't we discuss that like Element X could potentially be saving grace for AP? Like, I remember we said earlier that like it made up the Miracle Machine and like what
Ma-
else?
chair.
Yeah, the Mobius Chair.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You'd basically be saying, do we scale Element X to the Miracle Machine, which obviously canceled out True Form Darkseid Soul via vibrational frequencies, which is kind of specific in the grand scheme of things, but what would you say,
For
Akio?
people who
Like,
don't
would
know,
you...
that he's talking about the infamous Superman sings Darkseid to death moment.
Yeah.
Darkseid always
Yeah.
hated music.
Was that Final Crisis?
I love that.
I
So-
feel like the problem with that is you can also counter with the Celestial argument that you can say that the Celestials that Tony fought were the same Celestials, or like a version of the same Celestials that fought Ego Prime and Lifebringer Galactus in the Superflow during the events of Ultimates.
Oh. So, like, even if you, like, scaled it to,
Yeah.
like... Because, like, here's the thing. If you scale it to the Miracle Machine, you would get a Final Batsuit that, in turn, scales to taking out True Form Darkseid, which like, okay, True Form Darkseid at the time in like Final Crisis, he was at the very least like,
He was like destroying the bleed and like the
yeah,
multiverse.
like
Like,
literally
falling.
like he, like obviously yeah, like it goes back to like the whole, if he even enters the normal multiverse, it's toast.
Yeah.
So like I feel you could argue that like even the weaker times of True Form Darkseid were at the very least on par with Celestials overall.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even then, like you said, Celestials can still get better scaling in turn. Okay, so I guess you come down to hacks versus strength. Like, which is the more viable option? Because I feel like Tony could one shot him, but then Bruce could also just wipe his mind and potentially just take him out. So it's.
Oh yeah, like how does his mind wipe work? Like, can he change Tony?
Like-
He can make Tony do things, or is it just
I
like,
believe,
mind
okay, the
wipe?
World Forger basically told Bruce that, like, he could just wipe all of their minds, including Manhunters, and, like, call it a day. So, assumingly, the rewrite can also just mean, like, wipe the mind entirely, which I don't think Tony can really resist, or at least do anything about it in time. So,
Yeah, if he could just lobotomize Tony, then the difference in stats no longer really matters because Tony won't be able to pilot the Godkiller. He won't know how to do it.
it's
So
true.
Batman could essentially go back
So-
home, build something to take it out, come back, and it's still just floating there.
Well, I mean, if he did, like, that specifically, like, Tony could probably, like, reboot his consciousness with, like...
Well, that's if he
I-
knows
like
to.
what he did with the escape, but like on the spot, I mean, it's difficult because like I feel with robots, or I mean, sorry, with like mechs and suits and stuff, it's like obviously like on the outside, like durability can just go anyway, but like if like the suit just went limp, like would Batman be able to just like rip off the head and kill Tony at that time, or like would it like because of like the suit won't be fighting back, so. I guess
No,
it's a bit of
no, I think he can probably use the power. It says on a cellular level, so he can probably just like blow up Tony's brain, and you know he's a human. That's gonna kill him,
Yeah, that'll
even with.
yeah. So it's so I guess there is some saving grace. So
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, blowing up
sure.
his brain. That's like something
it's
even
basically it
Marine
for
would
Tony.
like struggle to survive, and Tony's not exactly. You know, his
Tony's not,
healing's
like
not that good.
yeah, Tony's like from the mental resistances in the past I've seen. I remember in Avengers versus X-Men issue 2, he had a fight with Emma Frost, who's like relative to Charles Xavier in telepathy, and he had these like micro tasers that like shocked her the more that like she thought.
Mhm.
But mind you, this was like a different armor, so I don't think it would really, I guess,
That was
transition to Godkiller, of course.
I believe that was Bleeding Edge, which would
Yeah,
mean
it's Bleeding
Tony would wear it with him. But here's the problem with that. One, Emma Frost, I would say she would be pretty relative with like Martian Manhunter. If I had to like compare them, I would say for the most part they would be like even. Maybe Martian Manhunter would pull up slightly ahead.
I feel like Manhunter's overall above them, but like I could see Emma and Xavier being like close to him.
But then the
I would
final
say
Batsuit's
Xavier
above.
should be on par.
Then the final Batsuit would then be above
Manhunter.
them.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I guess it's, I guess it is debatable.
I guess the question is,
Um,
what is more like? Is Batman more
Yeah,
like?
that's
What
the
is he gonna
thing.
do first? Because like he would not
so
know.
I mean, morals
from a
are off,
glance.
obviously.
Would he know from a glance that he needs to
I
do that,
mean-
or would he try to like take it on mano a mano first?
I mean, Batman's like he's no fool. Like there's like plenty of times where like even like as simple as fighting his own like little rogues that like he knows that like half the time he's out muscled against someone like Croc or Clayface. So I feel like he would get some sort of, I guess, I feel like he could get some sort of memo that maybe it's a viable option to use because like, yeah, Batman is usually actually pretty quick to call out like people who like either impress him or like flat out superior to him, like Shiva. So I feel like it's a possibility that like Batman could just see that as like, okay, this guy's. But it's also the question of like, would he be able to recognize that in time before he gets absolutely decked by the Godkiller?
And Tony does have 2 counters. to it, but neither of them are situated in the Godkiller. One, the Infinity Gauntlet, is obviously
Yeah.
Mind Stone. Yeah, the Final Batsuit can't do anything to the Mind Stone. But the problem is he's not going to get the Infinity Gauntlet. So
Yeah, that'd be pretty
Yeah,
boring if
and-
he did. Then it would just be Thanos versus Batman. Because you just look at what can Thanos do? And they just apply that at that point.
And secondly, it's the Godbuster. Like, if the fight takes place in the Escape, Tony could probably just, like, recreate his brain and then be like, you know, it's not going to affect me, and then, like, reality warp the Final Batsuit out of existence, or something like
But
that.
like, wasn't the escape like? Tony can't like send people to the escape
Yeah,
though, can he?
that's what.
I don't
Like,
think
can,
he
can
could.
he like do a dark side and like boom two people there?
No, I don't think.
'Cause, like, if
I
he
don't think he
can't-
could because like
I don't know. I mean, if it
all I remember is like
Please.
Tony's the only one who's like Tony's the only like concrete character who's like been in there. Besides
just-
like the motherboard, so
I'm
I don't think that
imagining-
really applies.
I'm imagining like Tony like, hey, come into the Escape, and Batman's just looking at this like this Commodore 64 and just smacks it. He's like, no.
Yeah. It's
Wow, so this is kind of tough.
it is. Honestly, it can go either way.
I can't like. Yeah, I can't like. I'm not gonna let bias get to me this time, like, cause like both are like, they both seem like such good options. So it's so hard to like measure. Like there's no like third opinion to like measure.
I think
like,
when it comes down
which
to
is
it,
objectively better.
you could say Batman wins because he's a bit faster, but the problem is you have like when it comes down to it, you can just argue who's faster, but then you've got to properly determine who is more layers into immeasurable at that point, which is, yeah, I guess that would be the
Or
main
even
deciding
worse.
factor.
Even worse than immeasurable. If you scale, you know, Batman's suit to like the Miracle Machine, it would then become irrelevant speed, and then with Celestials, there's literally a scan that has like
Well, I mean, I feel like with the Miracle Machine scaling, I don't think that really attributes to speed so much as it attributes to like Element X scaling as a whole, which fuels the suit obviously, and I guess gives it more overall AP. I don't think it really attributes to speed. I feel like it mostly just justifies that with Element X, like it's super powerful.
And Celestials in Marvel have been called platonic, just like Darkseid has, or like
Oh, dear.
New Gods. So like that sort of balances out. Obviously, it's not like every archetypal entity is equal. Like you can argue that characters like, I mean, I believe characters like Thor and Aphrodite in Marvel have also been called archetypal. So like, you know, that's a problem when you're gonna deal with that. And like in DC, the Endless are also archetypes, but you know, those guys are just on a completely different level.
They're like the speed above irrelevant.
So like,
So let's
With the
throw
Miracle
throw
Machine,
irrelevant
like-
out, right? Because like you can't, from what I can tell, you can't confirm the Final Batsuit would scale to the dimensionality of the Miracle Machine, or necessarily the Mobius Chair or anything like that, and you can't determine if those Celestials are necessarily irrelevant. So just with immeasurable, who gets higher?
It really depends on how you scale the Celestials, because just like everything else in this video, minus Batman and Iron Man, Celestials also have true forms. So, yeah, that's
I
really.
feel like the best bros you got for Batman are like obviously Barry. And I mean Barry's like, I feel like Bruce would win because Barry's immeasurable feats I feel like aren't bruised upon too much. Like outrunning the true form of the Black Racer, like the new god of death. Like he's specifically made to kill new gods or like come for them when they're gonna die. The fact that he outran that, like, I feel like I could at the very least see Bruce being just a little bit faster.
But
off
at that
alone.
point, you
At
could
that point,
counter
isn't that
with
just
like.
irrelevant? At that point, it's new gods.
I think so.
Because like they're
It
above,
would be.
they're above space and time, so
this
speed
is
doesn't
so
apply.
More confusing.
But you
So-
know, at that point, you would also have like Silver Surfer outrunning the concept of fate being destroyed on a conceptual level, which is
Well, concepts
Also
are not going to be
irrelevant.
destroyed on a physical level, are they?
no, it was It was Eternity and the Never Queen, and they were dying because the Beyonders were killing everything, and then Silver Surfer.
Oh yeah, that
I'm
was when
just
the
gonna-
Beyonders were killing all the abstracts and shit.
So what you're saying is, I guess speed. It feels like speed at this point wouldn't even matter because like if they're both immeasurable, like it's way too hard. From what I'm seeing, at least, it's way too hard to tell who's more layered into it. So what if you assume that they're equal in immeasurable speed?
I would say
What do you?
I could see Final Batsuit winning, and the thing is, from what I can tell, Godkiller needs to like move its body to do a directioned attack against someone who is not only a smaller target but also a more skilled fighter, from what I know. While
Definitely.
the Final Batsuit, it doesn't need to do a directioned attack that can be like seen and avoided and stuff. Like, is the mind wipe like just like an omnidirectional thing, or like a regular psychic attack that doesn't need to be in a direction?
Yeah,
It's not like
we've never
I-
seen it be used, but like
yeah.
we know
Warforged like told him that he could use it.
on the League at any time.
So that would imply it's like omnidirectional, or like it just goes targets and hits them. They can't dodge. Would be
I
my
mean,
assumption.
Manhunter has struggled to hit Barry with his telepathy before, but like the way that not Manhunter, World Forger implied, like even if Flash was running, Batman could just like do it without any problem.
So
Yeah, like the way
yeah.
World Forger
Hmm.
words it as well is like he said so casually, like you can just see into people's hearts just with this chair alone. Like I'm pretty sure like he wouldn't need to do much, short of like a simple like blink, to be honest, to like mind wipe Tony if he tried. Cause like I said earlier, like World Forger told him that like he could just stop toying with him and end it if he wanted to. So that's the thing.
So yeah, I would say that in
So-
that case, I would give the advantage to Batman, and like the size advantage that the Godkiller has becomes a problem now because he's attacking something slower. And like for instance, you know flies? Flies, when you try to hit them, is difficult, but they're not actually that fast. Flies are very slow, but because of their size, they seem a lot faster. So if they were equal in speed, Tony would have a lot of trouble hitting him because he's so much smaller. Like he's a good deal smaller.
And
And
his
that would be a
flexibility is quite low. Like his
Yeah, it's a
agility
big
was
bulky
like
suit, but like the build of like the Batsuit is like it's muscular, but it's like a lean muscular in a
Yeah,
way.
it's
like
it's.
plus it has wings as well. It can fly too. So like,
I mean, so
did the
can-
Godkiller fly?
I'd imagine.
yeah, it can.
Oh, okay, never mind. Then.
Imagine Tony Stark's strongest suit can't fly. It's just a big
Yeah,
iron
yeah,
monster.
it was dumb in hindsight to ask, but yeah.
So I would say in that case, the final Batsuit would come out ahead. Just because.
And then there's also like
Yeah.
I guess a minor advantage of like I think electromagnetic drones that you can send out to like distract the Godkiller as well, which are even smaller than the final Batsuit. So
Yeah, Tony's not going to hit those in a thing
yeah.
big, bulky.
Honestly, this could
So I-
go either way.
Yeah.
Who do you overall think wins though, Akil?
I have a feeling I really don't know who would win, but I have a feeling that Batman is probably gonna pull out ahead if he gets the
In
final
the
bat.
episode?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I could see it too, but
Right,
it's
'cause
like
this is a prediction.
I could also easily see us a version of like, haha, you thought Batman was gonna get a win? Nah, fourth lost. Or third lost, but
Should be
Yeah.
fourth.
Cat versus Bat was wrong, guys. I'm so sad. and
Oh yeah, Cap's only a boxer. Yeah.
and just give DC their freaking city buffs already. Come on now.
You know-
Anyways,
Clayface beat Sandman, so there's that.
yeah, you know what? I'll take that one victory out
Okay,
of
but then in
like
turn, Ant-Man beats Adam.
20 other fights.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Ant-Man.
That one's debatable
like,
in my opinion. I think that one's debatable.
Ant-Man and Adam
Even
aren't
today.
even like street tiers to begin with. So
Well, no, but like they can get into Herald, and everyone's always like, DC Heralds always win. It's like,
yeah.
Eh. That and Ant-Man is like you cannot scale them traditionally to like normal Herald stuff
Yeah,
because of
they're
the way their
weird.
powers
Yeah.
work.
so with
Ant-Man and Adam like mess with the smallest thing and like detonate infinite multiverses.
They just
It's stupid.
yeah.
Yeah.
So from what I can gather, for most part, Tony washes most of the comparisons you get. Like base, Tony washes the main busters. Tony washes. He wins most of them up until the Hellbat, which starts to pull a couple victories against Tony's suits. But then the Godkiller just destroys the Hellbat, and comes
Or
to
the
final.
Godbuster.
Yeah,
That probably can also.
and
then the Final Batsuit
probably wins just because of like at that point it stops
the
being,
overarching advantage of the.
it stops
the
being a
mind wipe.
case of looking into the specifics of the characters and more just like common sense. It's smaller. It does not have to do a directioned attack. It's like it doesn't need to specifically target and aim, and it's harder to block and dodge. It's harder to dodge. I'm not going to say that the Batsuit could block a punch from the Godkiller, but it could dodge, while the Godkiller can't really dodge the mind wipe, which if it happened, destroy Tony's brain or render him into a state of being unable to act. Like if he just put Tony into a coma, that's all he needs to do, because then he can just keep going
like,
at the
from there,
Godkiller
you
until
can just end the fight.
yeah. At that point, he can just pull out the Omniversal Bullet.
So yeah, in a close one. So yeah, it's a very close fight though. Like honestly, like I didn't think. I always say this a lot for some reason. I didn't think it would be this close, but like it actually really is, which is like a pleasant surprise.
I was
like,
thinking the Godkiller was gonna wash when we were like looking at the scans.
I was too. I was just thinking
like just raw
but
power.
then when you like,
it's on a whole other level.
I'm like honestly really. I'm
Godkiller
relieved.
takes like strength by a really like notable margin, but like speed is like relative, and even if it wasn't, like Batman is just way more agile and like versatile in the things he can do, so that plus
I guess it's like
kind
this
of
is probably not relevant in the overarching grand scheme of things, but who do you guys think is like just smarter overall between the two?
Oh, I have a
like-
answer for this. Tony is a way better engineer, but like in terms of tactical stuff, Batman like makes it.
Oh yeah, like specifics.
Yeah,
I could see like I think Bats is like ahead of like most of the Marvel geniuses in terms of like the battlefield, but like when you get into the science fields and stuff, like Batman's like there, but like not as much as people like Hank Pym.
Yeah.
I think Eternity said it best, obviously not in the context of Batman, but he was like, I think he said like Reed was like an explorer of something.
Oh yeah, I think
Hank was like the
Infinity
scientist
said this.
supreme, Tony was like the engineer supreme, and then like I don't remember what he said for like Bruce, but like I mean like I don't even know.
He
if
didn't
he
say
talked
anything for
about-
Bruce. He said Reed was the explorer, Tony was the engineer, Hank was the scientist.
And
I
Bruce,
Yeah.
Bruce, you're the
Bruce is
Hufflepuff,
the,
you know? You're also there. You're the you're the Cancer Supreme
And then-
of all that radiation.
So like, I know there's like
Wouldn't that
official.
be
well, not-
Spider-Man?
I know there's like not so official rankings in like both of their universes, but like from what I know, Batman's like the second smartest human in DC, and Tony's at least in top 5.
Is
like I
Lex
know like
artist in DC, like as far as humans go.
yeah, Lex is the
I'd
smartest,
imagine,
then Batman, then Mr. Terrific,
Mm-hmm.
and then after that it's like
Ray Palmer.
Yeah, Ray Palmer. I think
Actually, maybe not.
the guy who made Amazo. What's his name again? Doctor and.
What about the
something.
other atoms? Where do they stack up?
They're not. I mean,
Then in Marvel you have like Reed Richards, Doom, and then third.
number
Is-
one is the Maker, who's like alternate version of Reed, and then I think it's
Yeah.
all Reed, then Doom. Then like it gets messy because like
Yeah. Then you have like Tony, Hank, Bruce, and then like
T'Challa, Spider-Man,
isn't I thought T'Challa was like.
smarter than Hank, who's smarter.
Well, Ultron's
Ultron does
Ultron's
not count.
human. He doesn't count.
Ultron
Yeah,
is
he's smarter than Reed and Doom. And then okay, but like, wasn't T'Challa explicitly called like the 8th smartest human?
I believe he was, but then
And
like
then-
Reed said that Peter Parker is smarter than he was at Pete's age. So like, where does Spider-Man place?
There's also freaking Hank McCoy, the Beast, who's like
Yeah.
a world-renowned chemist. I think he's in the top 10 as well.
Somewhere.
Then
Yo, beast
oh wait,
respect.
what's his face? Amadeus Cho, like the second,
Oh, yeah,
the
that-
second Hulk. I think he's like, didn't he get to like 6th place or like 6th or 5th
What
smartest
about the
human?
regular
Yeah, it's
regular
kinda
Hulk?
changed now.
Oh, Amazo's
Bruce is
favorite is Professor Ivo, or like Doc.
yes, Professor Ivo. He
Yeah.
should be in the top 10. Like I think
Yeah.
past like Ray Palmer, they're not really that much fleshed out in terms of smarts. Like the Marvel characters have like so much more like intellect feats overall than the DC characters.
Yeah. Isn't Tim Drake like a better detective than like, or like, a relic?
Potentially, yes. Batman has said that like potentially he's in some ways a better detective than him.
And Barbara
He said
Gordon
that
is also super smart as Oracle, and
yes.
yeah.
I mean that's probably in like hacking and like, you know, the
Yeah.
stuff she did as Oracle. I don't.
Mhm.
I definitely don't think Barbara's in top 10.
And obviously these two are like, they're not generally respected for their intelligence enough because of their cosmic power, but like Thanos and Darkseid, they're like so smart in
Let's
terms of
see.
Oh yeah,
They can do.
where does
shoot.
Constantine rank in smartness? Does he like not count because his smartness is
Constantine?
all like
I-
occult and
not-
magic?
Constantine is like he's not like in terms of he's probably like the smartest like I guess overall magic user because like he's like an occultist detective like he knows like
Yo, is Detective Chimp in the smartest for DC?
oh my gosh
No, he is smart. Like he's
he
like
is a
probably
freaking Riddler of all people goes to him for advice. I think I remember. I kid you not. I've written about Detective Chimp before. I think there's some statements about
Who's
this
smarter
man.
between
Zatanna
Chimp
and
and
Wonder
Grodd?
Woman went to him for help. So like,
Chimp.
Oh,
Yeah.
is MODOK count
He
as a
became the
human that's
owner.
one of the smartest?
Technically, yeah, I think so.
Oh, what about Hector Hammond in DC? Because like his whole thing
He's
is
more like he's more of a telepath more
Oh,
than
yeah.
anything.
What about the leader?
Yeah, Detective Chimp is actually really smart. Like freaking Constantine has come to Detective Chimp for help.
mhm.
I'm not kidding.
Part of me
And
imagines
Detective Chimp
that
has a
half
sword that can like.
imagine if half
Yeah,
of
his
Constantine's
sword can, like-
motivation is just monkey.
Oh my gosh. Dude, I'm looking at my Detective Chimp right up. There's a scan that says like he's better than Batman in like puzzle solving and like being a detective overall.
Oh my god,
Dude,
Detective
that's
Chimp
so
has
based.
the best speed run of Professor Layton, I bet.
I'm
Remember
pretty
the time?
sure Detective.
You guys remember the time
Chimp, like,
Detective Chimp got the freaking Helm of Fate? That was amazing.
I think Bobo is like a better detective than Batman. Like depending on how motivated he is.
So is Barry as well.
Wait a
actually.
minute.
I think like Batman literally said that like Barry is better than him as a detective.
Where does Cyborg rank
Which
in the
is
smartest?
cool.
Because he's technically a human.
Oh shoot!
He's
I think I'm.
not like I don't think top 10.
What about his father?
he
I
is-
feel like he's top 10, but like I don't know where. He has a really high IQ. I think it was like 180.
Wait a minute. If the Detective
Wait.
Chimp had the Helm of Fate, does that mean Composite Chimp is stronger than Composite Aquaman?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Composite
you know what
Chimp
else
is
Detective
Composite
Chimp
Lois
had?
Lane.
Dude, he had the Sword of Night as well. The Sword of Night cut through the Upside Down Man.
Upside Down Man is like
Wow.
okay, so he scales to Hecate, who like created the concept of magic just by
Yeah,
like, being there. Like
Dude,
normal.
so Composite Detective Chimp, bruh.
The presence has his own magic that's like, different.
Dude,
That
Detective
doesn't
Chimp with
count
the
as
Sword
magic.
of
It's
Night
just
could
being
like,
the presence.
dude, level this guy. Detective Chimp with the Sword of Night could like kill a Celestial.
Detective Chimp is hench. He
He
would be
could, yeah.
at his peak.
Could.
Detective Chimp is the strongest character on Death Battle if he was used at his strongest.
Give him the. Oh, I mean, if he has the Sword of Night isn't standard, but like for the time he had, like he harmed the Upside Down Man pretty
If
gravely.
you give
That
him
sword
the
could
sword
like
and
kill Trueform Darkseid and like Trigon and like characters like that. They would just like get decimated
if
by
you
that
if you
sword.
gave
Wait,
him
wait,
the
I
helm
think
and the
I'm
sword,
scared.
would he beat Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet?
I mean, possibly. Okay, actually,
Yeah.
there's a possibility because like Lords of Order and Chaos, they have like pretty decent scaling with like the Shining Tower and stuff.
You would
I
like
think it's a
be able to
possibility.
break an Infinity Stone by like hitting it with the sword. He could.
Nemesis is
amazing.
God.
I'm popping off the Detective Chimp being so fucking hench. This is great, man.
This is so
This
based.
is the best call I've ever been in. Detective Chimp is the fucking peak of of Death Battle if he was used with non-standard stuff. Oh my god.
Oh.
I assume he's still weaker than like if you used Hal Jordan with non-standard stuff.
Hal's like the strongest character like on Death Battle if you used non-standard stuff.
I imagine like Logos.
Yeah,
Hal
because he had
would-
the Spectre.
Logos Hal
Yeah,
would beat,
Spectre, God
Wally
of
Hatton.
Light, White Lantern. Yeah, probably.
Like Logos, he literally has the power of the presence.
So yeah, he would
Yeah,
beat
no,
Wally
like
Hatton.
composite. Composite Hal is like the strongest of like the composite league members. Actually, wait. I feel like it's a toss-up because there's also Wonder Woman at the end of Death Metal and like the Hecate Amp.
Oh, and Story of Superman.
No, Logos is
Poor Flash doesn't get that far.
I feel like Logos still washes pretty much.
but like
Yeah.
beyond both of them, current Diana and current Darkseid and composite Thanos are all like you can like switch them around because like yeah, those Wonder Woman and Darkseid are like way like more powerful than they've ever been right now. And like Thanos, everyone knows, you know, heart of the universe, and like Kate's is doing weird stuff to him right now, and like he has a bunch of other stuff.
I guess last question before I try to steer us back on track.
Okay.
Who wins between, in your opinion, Marquis of Death and Superboy Prime at his strongest?
Oh, super.
I'd say Prime. Like
Oh my
he
God.
took out a universe where Godhead, Darkseid, and Anti-Monitor exists. So I think that in itself is enough to just
That's
one punch
crazy.
Marquis.
I remember when Marquis was like stomping Superboy Prime, and now it's just completely flipped on its head.
Honestly, that's kind of nice. I like Prime. He's cool.
I
He redeemed himself.
I mean, back then, like Prime, like
I didn't
at best
mind Prime
was
as
low
much,
sci
but like
here, while Marquis was like on par with Eternity, and
he
now
was
it's
using
like,
Eternity as a beat stick.
and now it's like it's not even like full powered Eternity. It was like Seventh Cosmos, I think, who is powerful, but he's not stronger than like
Death Shrimpy, bro.
not
yeah.
stronger than Darkest Knight. If
Superboy
you want to
Prime,
be stronger than
Superboy's Prime
Darkest Knight,
retcon
then you
punch would
pick
just destroy Marquis.
right now.
Poor Marquis.
I can live with
Marquis-
that. I like Prime more, though I do
I
really
think
like.
too.
Marquis has
I
like
do like
one
Marquis'
more
design.
opponent who no wait no the Marquis of Death. I mean, this isn't like a cross-verse thing, but like I always see people like between two Marvel characters, they always want to see the Marquis of Death and the Chaos King fight, and it's like, yeah, that would be a cool fight.
What?
I mean,
Wouldn't
like,
Chaos King kind of wash though? Like,
yeah, he kind of does, but like,
he's like the brother, or like the counterpart to Eternity itself. I think multi-Eternity as well.
yeah,
Isn't the
And
Chaos
I
King
still
like
want to
just a
see Chaos
bit,
King versus
like-
Anti-Monitor.
Yeah, I can live. That sounds fine.
Pretty cool. I think it's just like I feel like that would be one of the best fights. Like set the bar for like a much higher tier of Marvel and DC stuff.
And like,
Because like it's like
yeah.
two iconic bad guys of like Crisis events. I think that'd be cool.
Chaos King should fight the Scarlet King from
no,
SCP.
Scarlet King versus Crimson King from Dark Tower.
I honestly don't get. I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't get. I just don't like Chaos King versus Scarlet King. It just feels so like. I haven't heard the connections beyond the fact that like, they're both kings that like. Have this weird shapeless black form or something.
I've heard that fight is like one of the most debatable like ideas that's like currently in the air. Cause like,
That can go a lot of ways, but I mean, I guess.
yeah,
What if we just
Then-
like came halfway and just had Chaos King fight, like just had Chaos King, Scarlet King, Anti-Monitor, and Crimson King. Just all four of them can fight. Just do that.
and like
Crimson King, like from Dark Tower.
Yeah.
that's also really powerful.
So like that,
But, like-
that's like just a high out of
Wouldn't
Royale.
wouldn't True Form I just realized how much does the new cosmology affect True Form Anti-Monitor? Because like didn't he like come directly from like the sixth dimension now? Like
No.
he's pretty high up there.
Didn't amp Anti-Monitor as much as it did Darkseid.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Hmm.
Anti-Monitor is still super powerful, but like in that context, I'm pretty sure Crimson King scales above like true form Pennywise, who's like
Yeah. To my
I don't
knowledge,
know.
Crimson King is like the second strongest in Dark Tower behind Garn.
Crimson Tower.
On.
I mean, not
Yes.
Dark Tower, and like SCP and Marvel and DC all are like in the top 10 most powerful
Yeah.
franchises.
Marvel and DC are like in the top 2, pretty much.
They are.
top
I mean,
3.
not top 2, but like top 3, because like
Yeah,
I'd say
'cause
top 2.
SCPs gets
Yeah.
close.
SCP is there. SCP probably like outmatches both of them, and then like with the human Nico downgrade, it's like number 4 or 5.
Imagine
And then, like,
being
you have-
imagine being downgraded so much you're only the 4th strongest verse in debating.
Isn't there also there's also like Cthulhu mythos?
That's a bit up in the
Yeah.
air. That's really up in the air. That's
Mhm.
a whole other can of worms.
According
believe
to
it?
Fiber, it's not as
Or, like-
powerful as it was made out to be. But like I look into it, like it's not that powerful, but it is like super high up there.
It's
Man, I just want to see
difficult.
Cthulhu versus Shumagorath. That'd be so cool.
That is cool. We had that debate on my server back in December. That was
Yeah, and
Bang
Shuma,
Rep Shuma did very well.
Shuma won,
That was yeah, he did.
as
I
I imagine
secured
he
the
would.
win for Big Shuma.
Shuma is great.
Does Shuma win all
Yeah.
of
I
his
love
matchups?
Shuma. Yeah, he beats Starro. He beats. I think. Yeah, he beats Trigon. He should beat Trigon because like
Yeah.
if Dormammu beats Trigon, Shuma's above Dormammu. Yeah.
And Shuma
Mhm.
obliterates Bill Cipher. Like that's not even in.
Yep.
That's not even.
I don't
like...
know why people.
Thankfully, Starro somehow has an opponent in the form of what's his face, Zero from Kirby. That's nice.
Pretty sure
Speaking
at that
of
point Starro
anti-
just washes.
He has
Yes.
Anti-Spiral, who he decimates.
Yeah, he
That
annihilates.
fight's so stupid. Beyond just anti, like wow, Anti-Monitor like washes.
I can
That's
see
why I
the
want
appeal.
Anti-Monitor versus Casking. I think it's
I-
like the
for-
most
Yeah,
debatable.
it is.
For
the most
animation, I can see the appeal of Anti-Monitor versus Anti-Spiral because a lot of like the super Outerversal characters, they don't come across like they don't come across as overly powerful in like their like what they show themselves to do. But the thing is, like Anti-Monitor is iconic for that one scene where he's like the size of a universe, and Anti-Spiral, obviously Gurren Lagann goes all in with its cosmic fights. So
That is true with like the
it-
Grand Bomba scene.
for animation, I can definitely see the appeal of Anti-Monitor versus Anti-Spiral because they are portrayed at a level of power that's just like ridiculous. So I can see it being great for like an
Mhm.
animated fight. Obviously, in debate,
That
it's like
that does sound
Anti-Spiral
cool in
gets
hindsight.
flicked.
Yeah. As
I
far
think Anti-Monitor versus Chaos King is like much more fair and debatable now, in my
it
opinion.
is definitely way closer than it once was.
Mm,
As far as Outerversal fights go, I really do want to see Lucifer versus Beyonder, because like
yeah, I think that one sets a pretty good bar for like an OP fight.
I think we've never had a suicide kill, and that would be really cool. I think the closest was
They
like
kind of messed up though.
Doom versus.
They could probably do like Doom versus Vader. You mean? Or wait, we're gonna say Doom
Lex.
guy?
No, I meant like in terms of suicide kills. Like the closest was Lex versus Doom, and even that it wasn't like a suicide kill, because you know.
So how do you
It
want the
was-
ending to go for Beyonder versus Lucifer?
I want Beyonder to kill
Literally,
him.
the one thing I've
That's
heard is that like Lucifer convinces him to kill himself and nothing else. I've never heard like any actual debate outside of like, oh, Lucifer just outsmarts him, which isn't that bad, but like, you gotta like look into what else they can do.
I mean,
'cause, like,
there was a time
despite
where
them being
Lucifer just
OP,
walks
like-
in. There was a time where Lucifer just walks in and Beyonder ceases to be.
Wildstorm.
I don't like Beyonder by him, but like the Beyonder is like not as powerful as people love to make him out to be. People are like, oh, he's like second to the one above all, and then
Yeah,
like
I see that
you
a
have to
lot.
I remember when I used to think that like Beyonder was like top 5 in Marvel, and now he's like not even
30.
top 20 probably.
He's like top 30 right now.
Meanwhile, Lucifer's still like top 5 in DC, right? Like,
Lucifer is like top 3, I think.
Ish.
like who's stronger than
Shoot.
him? Like obviously the
Actually, no, he would be top 4. I
Isn't
think
like
it's
Michael's relative to him, like equal to him, in fact, like shoot. There's also
the presence and Elaine with the presence's power are the only two that
Great
come to my
Evil
mind.
Beast. Great Evil Beast.
Oh yeah.
No, the Great Evil Beast isn't that strong. He was like fighting like, I don't even know, like inside the multiverse or something.
It's like is the presence
Like-
number 1 still?
The presence is number 1, and then it's like the source or the overvoid.
And then
Oh yeah,
the,
because of the Darkest Night.
And then
Those
number
3 are
three.
like top 3. And
And
then it's like
I imagine
or like
I imagine Elaine with the presence's power just counts as the presence, right?
Like
Probably.
Elaine Belloc.
Yeah.
Ah.
Like she just had his power, so I imagine she would just count as the same as the presence at that point.
And after Lucifer, it's like Michael, and then probably maybe the Endless, maybe Composite Swamp Thing.
Logos,
Oh yeah, there's
like the Spectre at full power.
Oh yeah, Logos or Oversoul Spectre. He's probably above Swamp Thing.
Where's Story of
what
Superman?
about Eclipso? I've heard Eclipso's up there.
Eclipso at full power probably is up there.
What about Constantine at full power? Like Constantine with like,
I-
full-on prep time.
I feel like at the very least top 30. There's a lot of characters.
And then
so,
you have like
kind of hard to choose.
Perpetua and like Cosmic Armor Superman, Mandrak, Krent Darkseid,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah, and like
oh yeah, Mother
the
Night or
Endless.
like Father Time or something. I don't remember what their exact names are.
Essentially,
The Creator?
Lucifer should beat Beyonder, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yonder is
pretty
like
solidly.
at best above Oblivion.
So, Killer, you no longer arguing that it's close?
No, I'm not.
Well, I mean, it's probably close in like a power sense, like in terms of cosmology and where they scale, but like I guess it comes down to
Well, I mean, if
because I
Beyonder
mean I
is-
feel like it'd probably be close if
It's like I don't know.
yeah,
I would assume it's close if like people argued the main win cause like Lucifer has to outsmart him just
well, no,
to
the
beat
thing
him.
is that like people argue Beyonder is like in the same league as Lucifer in terms of like overall. Like Lucifer's in the top 5 and Beyonder's not. But a lot of people think Beyonder is like the actual second strongest. Like
And to be and like with Marvel and DC are like almost equal at this point. Like in terms of power, so like the difference between top 5 and top 30 is pretty
pretty big.
significant.
It's pretty
Yeah.
big chungus, you could say, difference there.
Like if we were to like put Lucifer in Marvel right now, like if you sent Lucifer to Marvel, I think where he would stop would be at like oh dear goodness. The Phoenix Force is currently stronger than the Beyonder and Oblivion and Molecule Man. Like the Phoenix Force, I guess if you translate it, would be like partially Overvoid tier in Marvel. It's not yeah, it's kind of a mess. Marvel's a mess right
So
now.
what, if Lucifer went into Marvel, that's like roughly the area around the region that is?
Yeah, around White Phoenix, I guess. Probably above. I don't know.
It's an oof for Beyonder. Can we get an F in the comments for Beyonder?
F.
But yeah, so that was a fun tangent. Basically back on topic, you
That
guys
was-
think Batman will win the episode?
That probably win.
I don't know honestly. I feel like I could see him winning, but at the same time, I could see it being a 180 and Tony clutching.
Yeah,
It's-
I'm not sure who's going to win. Obviously, if we just go with the thumbnail,
Yeah,
we
you
know
can't
that
really-
Tony's going to win based on just the thumbnail, but that's just because Final
You
Batsuit's
can't really
not there.
tinfoil your way out of this one, in my opinion. I feel like you actually have to sit down and think, who does win?
When I rewatched like the RTX reveal, I think Ben said they were gonna give them more than just the armors. So that's up to interpretation what that means. Does that mean the bullet
So
account,
like,
the weapon?
oh gosh, if they include the bullet,
If the
What-
Infinity Gauntlet is
That sounds-
factored in, Tony can technically stop the bullet before it hits him and like
Yeah.
erase Batman from existence. Of course, if the archetypal bullet hits him, Tony can counter conceptual
Guys.
manipulation with the Reality Stone. But if the Omniversal bullet hits the Infinity Gauntlet and teleports it outside the source wall, one, the gauntlet's not going to work. Two, yeah, the true form of the source wall is like way more powerful than any Infinity Gauntlet, regardless of who has used it. And at that point, it wouldn't even matter. Iron Man would just die if it hits him. Like, yeah,
So,
it's pretty.
my assumption is if you give them both everything they've ever had, Tony would win more often than
Tony
not.
wins.
If you gave them all their suits they ever had, Batman would most likely win, but it's super close.
Mm-hmm.
And if you just stopped at what they showed in the thumbnail, Tony obliterates.
Sounds about right to me.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
I guess it does
obviously,
depend what they
like,
give
this
them.
isn't the end all be
And
all.
one more thing I
Yeah.
want to cover. But if they fought each other and narratively prepped against each other, instead of like using armors they already have, I do think Batman would come out on top.
Yeah,
Because like more consistently, Tony's prep time ends up backfiring in some way, whereas Batman
Didn't
generally...
backfire on like Black Panther at one point.
I mean, Black Panther is probably a better prepper than Iron Man, if I'm being honest, because, like, Black Panther did make a Galactusbuster sort of thing that actually
Wow.
has feats. So,
So
yeah.
we've been recording for 3 hours. This is the longest prediction. I knew it would
Yeah,
be. Like I knew it would be because these characters have so
Oh,
much to go
man.
on about. Like this is about
Jeez.
how
I-
this is longer than Lex versus Doom would have been if I got a kill for that.
Holy crap,
This
dude.
this is the biggest
this
matchup
is
they've
gonna
done
be a
this season.
This is gonna be fun.
I am getting more into the matchup just like because the conversation, you know, it's interesting. Like I kind of want to see Final Batsuit square up with Godkiller now. I think that just sounds cool.
I mean, I feel like I can think of a couple, like, battle predictions if Bang and I were here that would, like, go on for even longer. Like, if Swamp Thing versus
Oh yeah,
and that would probably hit, like,
dude, if that happened, oh,
Oh,
my
God.
gosh, I
Swamp
would
Thing
go
versus
all
Man
in.
Thing.
I'd go all in for something.
Most of that discussion will be cosmology based.
yeah.
Yep, the green especially.
And, like, Ant-Man versus Atom is also cosmology-based.
Then again,
They
so's
deconfirmed
Lucifer
it.
versus Beyonder, but I don't think that's going to get very far into the cosmology.
And
'cause-
Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna, because, like, Scarlet Witch
House of
Like,
Mystery and stuff,
he
and like
dips into that, and Zatanna's hacks is now also going to dip into dimensional tearing
Really?
because of...
Zatanna got a
thing.
buff too.
Yep. Literally, everyone's getting buffs. You don't want to see what Hyperion did.
Does Hyperion beat
oh,
Superboy
no, please
Prime
don't
now?
tell me Hyperion beat Superman. Wait, what?
No, he doesn't beat Superman. That was, like... A lot of it was, like,
Oh,
Mephisto's amp
I was
sort
worried.
of
I was
thing.
worried about like
Oh,
because like a
Lord
lot of
have mercy.
people do Hyperion versus Superboy Prime, but if he can't even beat regular Superman,
He's not beating Prime.
no.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time where I think like Theta Stay Superman was like more powerful than Prime, but now with the whole retcon punching Virgin Who Laughs thing,
With
now I think Superboy Prime's even overtaken Theta Stay.
pretty sure Prime's. Yeah.
Prime is pretty beefy as he is, but
Yeah, because
unfortunately,
like Theta
Bang's
State beat Dominus.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll be leaving. So
Yeah, Bang won't be here for that. I mean, there's always a chance Swamp Thing versus Man Thing won't happen for the next 2 seasons. That's
It
possible.
won't.
I can see that. I just I okay, it's like a debate that like exists definitely, but like I just don't see it like.
I see it
Also,
happening
here's another thing,
eventually.
like-
I think it will happen eventually. Especially if like there's like a renewal of the Swamp Thing TV series. If that has a renewal, they might be motivated to do it because that got a pretty good reception. So
Yeah.
I could see that if that happens,
I
they will do it. But
See,
I
here's the
don't
thing.
see it for the next 2 years.
And we have a couple
Here's the thing, though,
magical
like,
fights that can happen, like Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna is definitely going to happen next year because of Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
We're probably going to see Constantine versus Radow sometime, and Dor versus
I'm gonna miss
Trigon
that too.
or something like that.
Yeah. Ant-Man vs. Atom and
I could-
Wanda vs. Zatanna are pretty much guaranteed either next year or the year after. It's definitely one of the next 2 seasons. I can't
Yeah,
see
and
either.
Spider-Man versus Ladybug is probably also going to happen next year.
I can see that, yeah. As fun as it'll be.
And like,
Okay, here's the thing. I could see a good chance Swamp Thing versus Man Thing actually gets replaced by like I think it was Swamp Thing versus what's his face from Final Fantasy. It's a new idea recently for Swamp Thing that's
X-Death.
come up
Oh god.
against X-Death
I
from
wouldn't-
Final
Look,
Fantasy.
I
I
am
thought you said.
I think one of the
for a
researchers
second,
like
like,
commented on it as
lady.
well.
I am super into the idea of more Final Fantasy from outside of Final Fantasy 7, but not if they're gonna die that hard. Like that-
Oh yeah, no, I can't see them taking down Swamp Thing.
Wouldn't Loki versus? I mean, wouldn't Loki versus Kefka already count as a stomp? And now it's just
Okay.
like DC's still gonna
That's
stomp
different.
Final
That's different.
Is it a stomp?
The thing with Loki vs. Kefka, right, is that first off, I like Kefka so much that overtakes the stomp factor, but I also like Loki that much. Then again, I also really like Swamp Thing. But the thing is, right, I like
like Swamp
Loki vs. Kefka as a matchup. I don't really like Swamp Thing versus X-Death that much, but also
I don't like it either.
the problem is,
I like that thing.
X-Death is stronger than Kefka, to my knowledge, but Swamp Thing is stronger than Loki. Like, at least
Yeah.
average Loki. And no matter how hard you wank X-Death, if you say that him destroying all dimensions means he's out-versal, he still gets clapped. Like, he still gets obliterated. While with
Swamp Thing
Kefka,
is
if you were to
awesome.
wank Kefka to, like, the highest level of Dissidia, you could maybe argue that attack potency is equivalent.
Even then, like Loki has got his story.
Loki's still, like, just with hacks.
Mm.
Base Loki with
Mm.
hacks just will win. But you could maybe,
Yeah.
if you really push it, argue that Kefka is equivalent in attack potency. There's no way you can do that for X-Death without, like, massively lowballing Swamp Thing to, like, Planet or something.
Mhm.
Which would just be embarrassing to do. And
Yeah.
would make you look like a massive idiot.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, does versus...
And I
Hold on,
think
where's
another
versus Battle Wiki have
We
him?
might get sometime would be like Superman. He's probably gonna fight Goku for the third time.
Oh gosh, I will be very happy if I do miss that because that
I
sounds
don't
like a
want to see that.
nightmare.
Oh, okay. Swamp Thing even
I
on
don't
even on versus Battle Wiki, Swamp Thing's like low complex multi, so it even versus Battle Wiki has him above X-Death.
They used to have him at Hyperversal for a time. I don't know why they changed
Yeah,
it.
that's because
All
they
I
changed all of them.
Don't want to
Oh,
happen.
that's true.
The only thing I don't want to happen, like I don't want to see happen, is like Superman versus Sentry. Like that's.
Oh, I do not
gosh.
want that.
That match pains me.
I do want Sentry and I do want Superman back,
I
but
don't
like
want
not
Sentry.
each other. I think I would redirect Sentry towards
If you say Jim, I'm
Prob-
gonna die.
okay, I'm either gonna have to sacrifice either Saint Seiya or Dragon Ball by redirecting Sentry towards one of their characters.
Do the
Oh
Seiya
yeah,
one.
that's right. They gotta say
Do the
I
Seiya
think it
one,
was
not
Saint
Jiren.
Gemini.
Yeah.
Gemini, I think is based.
And there's also
Yeah.
Shazam versus Sentry, which is just like the most
What?
No,
cool thing I've had.
that's
like,
awful.
look at.
Wow.
I
I
would
don't-
take
I-
Wow,
fucking.
that's
I would take.
horrible.
I would take Shazam versus Hyperion over that. I'll be honest.
I mean, Hyperion has Zod, and like I like that fight. It's like one of those
I
interestingly debatable fights.
I get
that
it.
Can
'Cause
like
it's like.
I
It's
think
like
Zod wins.
Maybe.
DC's douchebag Superman versus Marvel's douchebag Superman. I
Mhm.
I can get that. Yeah.
I could see Zod winning just because like I feel like he's overall stronger. Because like
Maybe.
in Rebirth, he like trashed Hal and Kyle in their fight. I think he's much stronger overall.
DC giving Kryptonians the respect, but not speedsters.
And then there's also like something I do want to see a lot, and it can definitely happen because while both of these characters aren't as popular as you might think, they have like other appearances. But like Beta Ray Bill versus Bizarro, that's like really debatable. It it would have great interactions.
Time to bring a bizarre one-shotting Trigon.
You know that when Trigon vs Dormammu happens and it kills here, I'm gonna be like, so about that scaling to Michael.
Oh. Yeah, that'll be great.
So
Okay, with Trigon vs Dormammu, I could actually. I feel like I meant to ask Akio this a few days ago. I think like, how long? I know he has like conceptual regeneration. How long? Did they ever specify how long it takes for him to like come back to life?
No, it's just like that type 8 immortality thing where like as long as this person or concept exists, I will live.
But there's no like time frame, so it's hard to really say it's usable.
But Trigon's regeneration from like having his soul destroyed also has no time frame. So at that point it's just like we're gonna hit each other, blow up a couple of universes and like the multiverse, and then like try our hacks, and then like they would just like
Yeah, I feel like it's even like around like AP wise, like shouldn't it be even?
It should be, yeah.
Does Trigon lose to
Like
Mangog?
Trigon, like
I don't know.
what?
Would Mangog beat Trigon, or would he lose?
Trigon like exists.
Trigon should beat Mangog.
Okay, never mind.
I feel like
don't like
beat
it.
him just cause like.
Don't like it.
No, like-
Mangog versus Doomsday.
Okay.
That's the way to go.
Mangog.
No, don't do that to Doomsday.
Well, people put him up against 682 instead, and if you use True Form, that's even less fair.
Funny you mention that. I actually don't think 682 beats Doomsday now.
Well, no,
I don't
I mean,
By
because
most of the current scaling.
True Form isn't usable. So right now, 682. I
But I
don't
still don't.
I don't really think he
I don't know.
compares.
It's a really weird fight.
I think
Yeah.
like
If that happens, this would definitely be the Trinity to go. Us three analyzing that after figuring out.
Yeah, I love Doomsday. I'd love to like rep him. He's just like he's just cool.
I hear people say
Like-
Doomsday only gets up to Uni Plus though, and it's like, really?
That's stupid as frick. He literally like
Doomsday kill
he
Juggernaut.
literally like
Something, I don't
he
know.
literally trashed Orion. Like there was a time where like even an imperfect clone of Orion was like fighting Emanation Darkseid pretty
Crazy.
evenly. Who might like Doomsday should. I don't know why people say that like he's like lower tier hero or something just because he hasn't fought most of them in a while. Because like post Crisis he was literally like trashing like every Herald in sight. I wouldn't like put it past him that like obviously hasn't showed up in a while.
On the other end, people say he's out of Versal via scaling to True Form Darkseid, which no.
That's stupid.
Honestly, I'd love to see a fight between Doomsday and Immortal Hulk. Not like an actual like researched fight, but like
DBX?
not DBX either, but like I want to like see
Rewind
someone
Rumble.
write a story about it, like a horror
Claymation.
themed story, like Doomsday comes back as a zombie or
Right,
something.
Cartoon Fight Club, got
on
it.
Halloween, and like
Oh my
Hulk,
gosh.
like stop him. That would
Oh,
be
yeah.
so cool.
Last thing before I push this to an end so I don't have to render a 4-hour video. Who do
gosh.
you guys want to fight Juggernaut if he gets in?
Oh dear, I love this topic so much.
Oh, he's gonna play. Oh, that's yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, okay, let me just. All right, let's see who we got here on my list of Juggernaut opponents that I moderately dislike.
Send it in like the channel so you know Nemesis
Oh,
can
yeah.
put your tier list.
Oh yeah, my epic
too.
tier list.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Oh,
really
yes.
don't like most Juggernaut matches.
dude, Juggernaut has the most quintessential perfect opponent ever. Deckhead, if you're watching this, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
I do. I want to see him fight
It's him.
me personally. Atrocitus.
I like Atrocitus versus Cosmic Ghost Rider, but yeah.
Is
I
that
like that
fucking?
one
Is that like the Shaggy guy? What?
Yes, it's the
Yeah.
Shaggy Man. Yes, Juggernaut versus the Shaggy Man.
I
The
can see
true
that,
unstoppable
yeah.
forces. No further questions.
I
don't.
There's
dude,
actually a
Shaggy
fate.
Man was literally
Okay.
Doomsday before Doomsday.
There's actually a
Oh my
fate.
God,
There's actually a
this
fate
is
matchup for
beautiful.
Juggernaut. If you didn't know.
Bang! I didn't need to see Bane. that reminds me, because like
Yeah,
everyone
that's-
Back in freaking 2015,
That is the
Bane versus
worst.
Juggernaut was a
That is
thing.
one of the worst
That's
Marvel
so
versus
funny.
DCs I've ever seen. Is Bane versus Juggernaut.
So,
How about
I mean,
one decillion Banes versus
Doomsday
a helmetless
Juggernaut would be
Juggernaut?
cool. Doomsday versus Juggernaut would be cool, but like,
Where would you
Doomsday
put
is
Where would you
fine.
put
I think
Lobo on the list?
oh gosh, I can't believe.
Oh,
it's-
Lobo
'cause-
versus
'cause
Juggernaut would be cool.
Oh,
Lobo's
that does
popular
sound-
because it's like the idea that they are basically
There's
unstoppable.
like a
just
really cool fan art of Lobo versus Juggernaut.
oh,
that
that was in a Wizard magazine. I'm pretty sure.
It's so cool though.
Yeah,
like,
it's real. Like I actually think of his DC matchups,
Sounds cool.
Lobo is probably one of my most.
It feels like one of
liked-
those guilty pleasure matchups.
Yeah, but Juggernaut's got a Fate
This is
matchup, by the
cool.
way, from Fate, which is just hilarious.
I
to
would put
think.
Lobo like I think fine or good odds. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Lobo would be, yeah.
It just looks so cool aesthetically.
I
too.
would
Just
I
look
would
at that picture,
personally
like,
either move Archie Knuckles up or move Fleet Away Sonic down because I think there's a gap there in quality because Fleet Away
Yeah,
Sonic's
with-
connections are actually like just wrong.
I've seen
Then
Juggernaut
with-
versus Reverse Flash as a fight. I mean, Reverse Flash is
What?
Goku Black, obviously.
Is that just
But,
like
Reverse
Hulk-
Flash
is that
smacks Juggernaut.
supposed to be like an alternate version of Flash versus Hulk? But like someone
It's-
didn't know
yeah,
Red
That
Hulk
makes
it's
no
Speed
existed.
sense.
versus
Wouldn't you be
strength
better
match.
off doing Red Hulk then? Juggernaut
like,
is
I-
not like
I would
some
think-
spin on Hulk.
I would think Red Hulk or Abomination would make more sense.
Like
at that point.
Abominate, yeah.
I think Juggernaut is there because he's stronger than Red Hulk and Abomination, and well,
How
Thawne
about
is.
instead we do Wally West versus A Bomb?
And then see with Archie Knuckles versus Juggernaut, I feel like it's just not. It doesn't hold up in my opinion because like it was made around a time when Archie Sonic versus Wally actually became a thing. It kind of paved way for a lot more, I guess, Archie matches to be brought up because after that, you know how many matches came up for them? They had like
Yeah, a lot.
Archie Knuckles versus that one Unumeko chick. You had Archie Shadow versus freaking Godspeed or Soul
There's also
Bad Guy.
Archie Shadow versus
Freaking
Phoenix Icky
novel cars.
and also
Novel cars as well.
Yeah.
And then you had obviously Archie Silver versus Trunks being brought up for some reason. Like
Even though like Archie doesn't actually help Silver much. Like
yeah, I know.
it
So it's just like, but it's just like it feels like it just came out of a period of time where it's like we should just use Archie versions for these characters so that way it's more fair, while completely
Takes
just
so many
having
L's.
moot connections. Like if you strip away the Archie and Knuckles versus Juggernaut, it's basically just red. Like
yeah.
I feel like with Juggernaut, you can't really pull the card that like, he does punching. Like, yes, he does, but so does freaking every brawler or bruiser like you can name. Like, his character is like unstoppable. Like unstoppable aura. Like he can't be stopped. Like blah blah blah. All that stuff. Like with Knuckles, it's just with Knuckles it's punching. With Juggernaut, it's not punching as the main.
I've seen
shtick.
like, yeah, I don't know why, but like after Flash versus Sonic, like there are so many like Archie versus Marvel and DC fights. Like
I
I've
know,
seen,
right? I've seen
Well,
Chaos Knuckles versus Immortal Hulk.
Why?
I've seen Chaos Knuckles versus Scarlet
Chaos
Witch,
Knuckles isn't
because
even
they both
standard.
use Chaos as
It-
powers,
oh
and it's
no.
like
Okay, Chaos Knuckles is because Chaos Knuckles is green, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't even last for that long. Chaos
Yeah.
Knuckles literally said, I want to live a normal life, and then
That-
just gave it up.
That's like
Knuckles versus Scarlet Witch. Like, why does that even exist
Red.
at this point? Like,
yeah.
and then like it was posted, and then like people are like, more extra dimensional like power sources. Like they both use chaos, and it's like, and they're like, ooh, this seems like a fair fight, and it's like, it's Scarlet Witch. Like
yeah, no.
Zatanna
Yeah.
versus Scarlet Witch is like so much closer than like
It's
Archie
Yeah.
Sonic or like Archie Knuckles or Archie.
Tana would like wipe Archie out of existence.
Yeah.
She would. She would like easily just.
And then like the only Archie character like I would accept like ever being in Death Battle is Enerjack, of
Yeah.
course.
And Jack.
I feel like because he's
He's
cool.
distinct.
Energy
like he
Onslaught is so.
he's like an original character from like
I think like
the Archies,
the
like-
two main original characters are Mammoth, Mogul, and Enerjack, but I hear Mogul doesn't
Mammoth-
really work.
I've heard one opponent for Mammoth Mogul, and that was Vandal Savage from DC.
Okay, Mammoth,
Which
Mogul
basically is
versus
like-
Mongol.
Probably Mongol.
Yeah,
I
Mongol
mean-
would win, I'd imagine.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Because like wasn't like amped Mongol like at most he was like multi. Actually.
Anyway, so this has gone on for quite a while. I apologize
yeah.
to anyone who was like thinking this was all gonna be prediction. The prediction ended quite a while ago.
Yep.
So most a
We
lot
found
of
out a
like
lot of things today.
a lot most of the last half hour has basically just been us,
This
just
is gonna
chatting it.
take
So I guess
forever to edit.
anyone who just prefers to hear us just say shit,
Yeah, you
I
know
hope you
who you
enjoyed
are.
that bit. You got to enjoy a bit of us talking about like a lot of scans, a lot of actual debating, a lot of discussing feats, and also a lot of just banter. So I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys should probably say goodbye first though, because you're the guests here.
Yeah, it's been fun. I love this matchup. It's grown on me a lot. I loved it. Fun
I love
debate.
And hopefully we can do this again in like 2 years.
Yeah, hopefully Bang's return is going to be.
I can't
joined
wait. I
with-
can't wait to come back to frickin' the Penguin, transcending the concept of umbrellas to kill Godhead Darkseid.
You're gonna come back, and we're gonna be like, "Oh, Bang! You just came back. There's a Marvel versus DC matchup next. Do you want to join us?" And you're gonna be like, "Yes. What is it? It's Riddler versus Arcade."
I'd be down for that. That'd be funny, even though Riddler dies. But
Yeah, I feel like
It still
I
sounds
think
fun.
Arcade
DC
washes,
might get
right?
some
Yeah.
maps in the next 2 years. You never know.
Yeah, you're
yeah,
gonna come in.
I'm
and-
gonna come back. I'm gonna come back and be like, but doesn't this person skill that? You're like, sorry, Bang, you've missed out on a lot. I'll feel so out of place.
This
'cause, like,
matchup's
I'll be
great.
behind on scaling.
Unfortunately, Riddler gets stomped. Yeah, so DC street tiers are planet level now. You fucking what, mate? That's the
I
conversation.
just want to come back to city level DC street tiers, then I can die a happy
You're gonna
man.
come back to like multi-continental Marvel and DC street tiers.
Deathstroke will finally be Herald.
Low hyperversal heralds, high outerversal skyfathers, and they'll have a new tier for abstracts.
Deathstroke has a weapon that one shot Hal Jordan.
Could you
fought
imagine
Dr.
if
Polaris,
the next
who
version
knocked out
of
Superman?
the next version of their Batman Iron Man with prep time was Spider-Man versus Deathstroke with herald scaling?
That'd be legendary.
That'd be hilarious. Yeah, Akil,
Be
you can say
amazing.
goodbye to.
Goodbye, everyone. Yeah, I'm still gonna be in the community for a while. So
Yes,
just
it's,
say hi to me on Discord.
Don't worry, I'll be back.
No.
it's
be
just
back, don't
DC
worry.
taking a hiatus.
Don't forgive me, guys.
So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I will leave a link to Akil's channel in the description and a link to Bang's DeviantArt, so you can check out his Marvel and DC threads, I guess, or like feet. What's the name
Profiles.
for them? Profiles. That's it. Yeah.
Profiles.
They're all really great, especially Mangog's. I
Yeah.
highly recommend that one because it's Mangog.
And Shaggy Man's. Adam
yep.
Strange is coming soon. I'm gonna do one for Adam Strange
And
soon.
I
Adam
wa-
Strange is really cool.
I want to leave you all on the note that there is a Marvel character named Nemesis, and I found this out. And neither Akil
Yeah.
nor
And you
Bang
showed me a
knew.
whole doc about it.
Yes, I feat searched all 3 appearances of Nemesis. He sucks. He had best scales to.
We're so proud.
Random
We're so
versions of
proud of you,
Heralds.
Nemesis.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can go find a matchup for him, because only one person in this community knew who he was before I
You see
found him.
Nemesis?
Yeah. That was great.
So yeah, have a good one, guys. I'm gonna stop recording now.